Happy Wednesday, man. This is the last Wednesday before Christmas. It's the last Wednesday before Christmas, guys. So I hope you guys are all ready for the holidays. Hopefully you got all your Christmas shopping done. Hopefully you was able to do what you need to do to get the gifts for the little children, the babies, your significant others, your grandparents, your family members. Hopefully you was able to find all the great deals. Hopefully you was able to do what you need to do and get all your Christmas shopping done. And you're not doing like me, mate, to the last minute to get the last minute little gifts in, like I have to do, as far as getting my son some Nike Crew socks. Them son of bitches are hard to find. Let me tell you a story before I get the show started. We got some great guys in the back. My man Ray, my man OMAC, they in the back. I'm ready to bring them great guys up, and we're going to have the conversation. But let me tell this story fast. So yesterday, let me say all this weekend, I've been looking for these white Nike Crew socks. I don't know what's going on. I don't have any idea what's going on because I can't find them nowhere. I can't. I went to the outlet mall and this store called Shoe Show. And normally they have the white Nike Crew socks. I don't like the price they have them for, but they usually have them. The guys kind of went in there. The guy said, hey, I said, do you have any of the Nike Crew socks? I see I got the ankle socks. I said, you got the mid quarters. Do you have the standard white Nikes? Because I have the black ones. They get gray ones. But I'm looking for the white ones. No, a guy just came in here, bought all 32 pair. I'm sorry. Didn't say 32 pack. He said the packs. So they sell them in a pack of 6, and he bought all 32. I said, what the shit does he need that many for? I said, is it for a basketball team? What is going on? Now, guys, if y'all know anything about math, let's do the math. That's 32 packs of 6. That's a lot. What do we got? 192? Is that what it is? I'm maybe a little slow. 190? Is it 192? No. Is it 192? I think it is. I could be wrong. Help me out, guys. I ain't got my calculator on me right now. Something like that. Close. God damn. That's a lot of damn socks, though, for one person to have. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. But he took them all. He's a selfish son of a bitch. He's selfish. He didn't think about him and his poor son. So now, I'm going to have to do one or two things. Either order them online, or I'm going to have to tell my son, hey, you're not getting these socks. Or will you settle for black? Which he probably don't want black. And I know why he wants white, because it's his basketball uniform, his college uniform, and they have to have white socks. So I'm going to have to come up with a solution. I may have to order them, and I'm going to have to let them know, well, you may be a little late with getting your socks, but they're coming. I think the most important thing he's looking for is that Xbox gift card. So I got to get that Xbox gift card too. So everything else I got. So he's done. My grandbaby's done. My lady's done. I got to get a few little knickknacks for him. But I'm going to get it. But you know something? We about to have a conversation about crypto. We're going to have a conversation about Bitcoin. So with this conversation, I may have a little bit more money in my pockets. Because these fellas going to help me out. They're going to help me and my lady out. They're going to help me diversify my monies into other areas. And I appreciate these guys even bringing and using their time to do that. So no further ado, let me bring these great men up. Brother Ray, what's going on tonight?
What's good, man? What's good? We made it. We made it. We made it. The market's doing good. All kinds of stuff is good right now.
Damn, I like hearing that. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
The market's good. OMAC, how about you, brother? You good?
Doing great. Doing great. I like to see things basically ramp back up. So they basically went back up. So I definitely like it. Definitely like the market right
These guys are a fan of the market right now, and I like hearing that. I like hearing that because now that means these guys are going to bless you with the opportunity and the knowledge to help you benefit from this market. Why not? That's what we're here tonight, right? We're here to talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. That's what we're here to talk about, guys. Let's not keep these good people waiting. They need to hear about this. They need to know the news. They need to know what's going on, how to get involved, how to be a part of this, how to make the right decisions on getting this money. Guys, look, the guys, I had questions for these guys. I'm sure you guys in the chat have questions. And guys, if you have any chat questions in chat, definitely make sure you definitely send them out via super chat. Hey, I appreciate that. Via Cash App, I appreciate that too. Or, if you just want to send chat just because you need to send chat, and, money a little tight because you spent it on Christmas, I understand. We're going to accept all questions. I'm going to highlight them, and I'm going to make sure I present them to the guys. But I do have a few questions that I have, and a few questions that some other people had sent me. My lady has for these great men as well. So hopefully we're able to get through all these questions. We're able to get to y'all questions and help you make some sound decisions on looking into investing into Bitcoin and crypto. Hopefully we can do that. And if we can't, I don't know what to tell you. But don't miss the wave. I'm already behind. I'm behind. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm behind, but I'm trying to play catch up. And I know these guys are gonna help me do that. So let's go and get the party started. My first question. I was reading some things, guys, and a question read, a Bitcoin wallet. I said, what is that? What is a Bitcoin wallet? Ray, if you want to help me out with that question.
Okay. A Bitcoin wallet is pretty simple. It's a digital wallet where your Bitcoin is held. So instead of a wallet in your pocket, because Bitcoin is in the ether, it is not a physical, tangible thing. Unless you want your wallet to be a piece of paper, which I don't recommend. They can catch on fire. It's going to be some sort of device or an application. And it's basically where your Bitcoin is housed, where you interact with it from.
Good. Now, guys, some of these questions that I didn't want to really bog down, they already know. I emailed them these questions, so I didn't want to get your gotcha moment because I want them to be informative and not, saying skip out on something, miss out on something. Because some of these questions that I have, y'all may just need to, it's probably got the same questions, I'm sure, some of them. And they're able to get it to you guys instantly right then and there. But, for those that I don't, any questions that y'all may feel still need to, like I said, ask, definitely send them in super chat or just put them in the chat, and I will definitely make sure I get to them as fast as possible. But let me go and do the super chat real fast because
I can take that one. If you want.
That's cool. I got you. Shout out to Actual King Smith.
So
love to hear the thought. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to read it for you because I got.
That's cool.
Love to hear the thoughts on Lunk, LUNC. Think it can make a return to glory. As far as a return to glory, as somebody who lost probably, I'd say at minimum on the skin of my teeth end $60,000 somebody's salary on that project when it collapsed because I was a part of that. No, it's not going back to where it was. The only hope that I have for this project at this point, because there's a lot of energy behind it, but this is in my gambling basket because I kept my coins that I got stuck with. And so the only hope for it is that it goes up enough for me to get some semblance of the $60,000 that I lost back. it's a high key gamble. There's a lot of energy for some reason in the back end behind it, but do I think it's going back to what it used to be? Absolutely not. I register it as a meme coin at this point, which is like throw $100 at it and act like you're at the casino.
Same
like
thing.
it.
You know, that's the way how I feel about it as well. You know, you have to look at basically Terra Luna. When Terra Luna went down, it went catastrophic.
Mhm.
Look, if you were staking before it went down, Terra Luna was a very nice payday. It's a
Yep.
very nice payday. Just in staking alone, you were getting more on your interest payment in
Mhm.
staking than you were at a bank. So when Terra Luna went down, I understand. Just like look, just like with Ray, I was just sitting there going, "Nah, it's not gonna go. Nah, it's going." Uh, Look, I'm gonna be honest. I wrote that thing down, man, like like a bomb. I mean, right now, if it ever comes back, I'll be totally shocked. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be considered like a dead meme. So,
Yeah.
Well, my man King said that interesting. I got out there the fall and have been up since. So it's only my risk on my risky side. Thank you for the
yeah,
thoughts.
yeah. No,
Okay.
look,
Okay.
hey, look. If you bought it when it dropped 99%,
Yep.
and you bought it then, well, look, I'm gonna definitely give you look, you did a good thing. The problem was me and Ray did it when it was up, like
Yeah.
when it was up and it was
Yep.
sailing into higher, spaces. So look, if you bought it at 99% down, hey, just like Ray say,
Yeah.
grab $100, go throw something at it, and then like if it goes up, I mean like it's up, but as far as a long-term hold, nope.
Yeah. I mean the reason that I would say that it's not a long term hold is I'm a liquidity provider. No one's using it. There's like no money there. So the intended purpose of what it was built for, it's not actually being used for that right now because it collapsed and took the whole market with it, and it left a bad taste in basically all the liquidity providers' mouths. So if you're using it, like one of the things that I would say is you're probably not using the actual ecosystem. I would say that it's almost a given. I'd say like it very rarely are people holding that coin on the actual ecosystem because like I still have my Terra Luna staked within the ecosystem. Most people aren't doing that. Most people are like buying it on an exchange and it sits on the exchange and then they're speculating from the exchange. If you were actually in the ecosystem, you would see that nothing's happening there. Like that's kind of the issue is like there's a lot of metrics behind it of people speculating on the coin itself, but the original Terra Luna Classic ecosystem has not been jump started yet. No one's using it. Like it's not actually being used. Like there's projects that exist in that ecosystem that were the reason that everybody was making money hand over fist, and those projects haven't come back yet. So hopefully we get some energy behind it and they bring some normies in so I can get some of my money back. But outside of that, the ecosystem in and of itself isn't being utilized. So for me, that's a telltale sign that there's no value within the ecosystem because we, like I said, me and OMAC were there when it was being used as it was intended to be, and it is not being utilized like that now.
Yeah, I'm just guys. Again, I'm like you guys. I'm late to the party, but I'm learning. And
No,
that's,
you
that's
are early, Ink. You are early, Ink. You good?
Look, the fact that you're talking about it means you're not late. Look, you still have time. The problem is, just being honest, the real problem is particularly in our culture. Most of us don't even don't even know what Bitcoin is. It's not even being talked about. Everybody everybody's putting more intention into everything else, music, shoes, fashion, twerking, and all, and all this other
damn,
stuff. And the great
damn.
look, and the greatest wealth transfer of history is happening right now, and we're completely missing the bus. Just being blunt. I mean, like our culture is missing the bus.
Yep.
I mean, my man OMAC said they twerking. God damn, God, dog.
On cars.
Come on now.
Sometimes.
Oh, twerk for some Bitcoin. All right, OMAC, it's for you, brother. Let's go. What is a Bitcoin address? I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, what is digital currency? Is up in the air. What do they mean by a Bitcoin address?
Well, I'm gonna basically give the examples that kind of basically will make it kind of resonate a bit more to people who don't know what a Bitcoin address is. You know, just like Ray said. Now, on the like on a hot wallet, you can basically do that on your computer. You can basically do that like on your phone. The same way you can look up your credit card and you can basically pay for your meals and stuff. I mean, like with your phone. Same thing. It's a hot wallet. It has a particular public address, and you can basically send money to it. On the flip side, when you want to basically look at a Bitcoin address, that can be stored on a cold wallet. A cold wallet would be like your actual physical wallet. Nobody knows how much is inside of your physical wallet. So that would be your cold wallet. Now, your cold wallet will be connected up to the internet for a brief amount of time and or air gapped, and then you'll basically use a public size address, and then basically send that over into the address itself. And then just like when you go to the bank and you basically get money out, that's physical cash that's inside of your wallet. Nobody knows about it but you. So those are the two differences. I mean, right there, a hot wallet and a cold wallet. Cold is cash. Hot is like a credit card and or a debit card.
Okay. So, and I know it, I kind of asked a little question later on, but we can go over that again if we need to. But yeah, I definitely want to make sure. Ray, as next question is for you, my brother.
Shoot.
And if y'all notice, I'm gonna try to, Ray, OMAC, trying to give y'all both an opportunity to answer questions, and then if you have any more insight on either one of y'all, definitely chime in. I'm a listener. I'm paying attention. I'm taking mental notes and using this video, and I got my tire drive over here ready to save all this information just in case YouTube goes down. I'm gonna have this backed up somewhere. But next question is, what agency takes care of Bitcoin and governs?
There isn't one specifically. The SEC has been trying unsuccessfully. Bitcoin's completely decentralized. There's no way for them to turn it off at this point. It's a Pandora's box. The only way that they could shut down the network is if they shut down the internet on the entire planet and then took down satellites, because you can actually continue to run nodes and continue to transact over satellite relay. So as far as in the U.S., the SEC has been suing anyone and everyone and running businesses out of the country in an attempt to get control of Bitcoin within the country. The only thing that this has done successfully is eliminate opportunities for working class and poor, disenfranchised Americans to have the opportunity to have easy access to navigate with their money as they see fit, because the SEC believes that those of you who are not already classified as rich are too stupid to know what to do with your money. But you're not too stupid to go mortgage yourself to the hilt and get a home loan you can't afford. You're not too stupid to go get hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt at a college to get a basket weaving degree that you're never going to pay back or become a teacher. You're not too stupid to go gamble your money away. But when it comes to the opportunities to actually move yourself out of the class that you're in, which is a working class and or peasant class as far as they're concerned, they don't want you to do that. Ever. So what they've been doing, since they can't control Bitcoin, is they've been trying to control your access to it. They've been systematically running businesses, opportunities, companies out of the United States, which is actually happening. We're having a technological brain drain that's actively happening right now because of what the SEC is doing in attempts to wrangle in Bitcoin. They keep telling you that criminals are using it. They're not. There's more criminals laundering money in cash than period on the Bitcoin network. It's 1%, if that. It's actually like 0.5%. It's not even 1%. So there is no necessarily an entity that controls Bitcoin. It's based on the government. Certain countries' governments, like India, has been wishy-washy on it. They've banned it, then they've said they didn't ban it, then they unbanned it. But like, you think about what India is doing in comparison to what America's doing and why. India has a caste system. If you are a peasant in India, that is what you're expected to be until you die. You don't get to move up. So of course, a legislation and a government like that is going to go, well, we need y'all to not get into this because, like, if you have money, you're no longer a peasant. If you have opportunity and economic mobility up the caste system, which isn't supposed to happen, you are no longer a peasant. America's basically, with the way that our policies have been since the inception of Bitcoin, low-key been doing the exact same thing. And the reason India is doing it is because they don't want to screw up their caste system. I'm just saying, something to think about.
So it look like we got a question in the chat. Let me go and pull this up. One of my favorite antagonists. Let's travel one. She comes here and she's not a big fan of sports, right? On Mondays. But she still comes by and hit that like button. Hopefully, I'm assuming she hits that like button. Travel one, I'm hoping that's what you're doing. And I hope you did it tonight. But now we're talking about something positive other than relationships and dick and pussy. We talk about getting money. I would think it's a great conversation for us. So you can continue your travel plans all over the world. But her question is this. Seems like a major problem with crypto Bitcoin is your online account is not protected, insured by the government, like U.S. banks. How is having crypto not a bad money move? It seems like a divide into money loss.
That is a great question.
Okay, I understand.
I like this one.
Yeah, I definitely like it too.
You go first. I got my own opinions, but I don't want to hog it.
Well, this is what I'm going to say about this. Travel one, what I'm going to tell you is this. Bitcoin is the best type of money. And the reason why is it's completely beholden to no one, no corporation, no super PAC, no state, no local government, no federal agency, not even the United States can basically stop you with your money. Here's a prime example. Right now, if you want to go to the bank right now, and let's say you got $200,000 cash in the bank right now. If you try to go to the bank right now and say, I want to take out $200,000 in cash, they will probably tell you, we don't have the $200,000 in cash, because if we gave that all to you right now, we couldn't service our other patrons that same day. But guess what? If you have $200,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, you can actually travel the world right now, and no one would know, because you would have it in a cold card or you would have it in a hot wallet. Now, imagine going to the airport with $200,000 of cash. You would not leave your flight. You would not leave on your flight. Why? Because they would think you are out to do illicit purchasing, or that you're trying to sell drugs or to buy drugs. You would not leave the country with 200,000. Well, guess what? On a hot wallet or even a cold wallet, and you have Bitcoin, you can walk out the country with billions of dollars and no one knows. You can come back into the country with billions of dollars value-wise in Bitcoin, no one knows. If you try to come back into the US with over, I think it's $15,000, they're going to stop you.
It's 10.
Okay, like it's 10.
They confiscate it too. They'll take it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they will confiscate your they will take
Yep.
your money and say, we'll hold it for you until you prove to us you did not do anything illicit, or you didn't do anything bad in order to get this money. So the thing about Bitcoin is this is financial, it is financial sovereignty. It is financial freedom. It is your control of your money and any and every time, and you don't have to wait on a bank to open. There you go.
Okay. And I love that. You cooking. I'm sorry, I had to jump in the chat to give you some frozes, bro. Like I really like that. The other thing that I think that we miss with this is we've been indoctrinated into a system where we're used to doing things. Like we've always done it. We've always used dollars. We've always just existed within the system, and that's not to say that it's terrible, because the reality of the situation is we are currently in the best time ever with everything that's going on in existence to exist. Period. Especially as Black people, like it's like the only other time that it was better for us was when like you have to go back to like Egypt, and then like it was still kind of terrible in the sense of like they didn't have all the stuff that we have now, at least to our knowledge, like air conditioning and computers. So, questionable, but our system is not perfect. And the reason that it's not perfect is if you have an entity that controls the monetary policy, they can print money, which they do, to do whatever they want. Whenever we talk about government spending, the government doesn't make money. They make up money. And when they make up money, there is a tax that is imposed upon everyone, regardless of what class you're in, monetarily. Everyone has to pay the tax. That's an invisible tax called inflation. It affects all of us. When we talk about money going to Ukraine, when we talk about getting involved with Israel, and they're sending them billions of dollars, which they've been sending them since they gave them the land that they have taken over the whole country of. Ever since then, they've been giving basically reparations to these people out of our money that they keep making up. And this is the result of that. In 1913, a dollar would buy you 30 Hershey's bars, 30 of them. Okay? Fast forward to now. A dollar will get you a McDonald's coffee, and I don't even think McDonald's coffee is a dollar anymore. The issue is, the thing that nobody sees is that like your dollar value is consistently and constantly going down in buying power. So like if you've got money, and I've met plenty of, I'm going to say specifically women, because I've never had this conversation with a guy, but I'll talk to women and they'll be like, I got money. I got $50,000 in the bank. I'm getting interest in a money market account. I'm like, that's actually terrible, because every year, even with the interest that you make, you'll see the number go up. And this is where they trick you. You see the number go up, but what you can buy is less. At no point in the last decade that I've been involved in Bitcoin have I looked at my Bitcoin and been like, I can buy less stuff now than I could when I got it. Because it's consistently gone up in value. It is destroying inflation. It's destroying every other investment vehicle. And I was originally a real estate guy, and it has destroyed that to the tune to where I'm like, man, geez, like buying this house might not have, like. Luckily, I use cash for that mostly, but like the Bitcoin that I did have to sell off to like secure that loan, I felt bad about it. I've never felt bad about liquidating anything else. Every time I liquidate any of my Bitcoin, I feel bad. I feel physically, I'm like, this is going to make me not happy 2-3 years from now. I'm going to look back on that and be like, that was a bad idea. I've never sold anything and felt bad about it in my life. Have I let go of anything that I purchased? I liquidated my 401k to get my first Bitcoin. Didn't care. I've never looked back and be like, that was a terrible decision. But the Bitcoin that I let go of to secure the loan for my house, and it wasn't a lot, I felt bad about it. I was like, that kind of feels like a mistake. Like, I feel like I wish I would have worked a little bit more overtime and just paid cash for it. Because that money now from 5 years ago, it was like, I think it was like $5,000. It would have been about 15 now, 15 to 20. It's so the reason I trust it is because I have forever, like, I'm a revolutionary that matured and understood how money worked. And then the problem became the financial system. I don't like people getting in between me and my investments or telling me what I'm intelligent enough to do with my money. And Bitcoin is that open field where you're allowed to compete. I am a competitive person. I don't like playing rigged games. I don't like somebody stepping in and going, no, you can't invest in that. You're too poor. While you're watching people in the same system that we exist in, that we've always come up with in the money system. Look at what happened with the GameStop and the AMC stocks. They turned the entire market off because you started competing with them. Not only did y'all start competing with them, you started winning. And they turned the game off. That in and of itself is so disrespectful to what they tell you, because what else do they tell us? Oh, you got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. You got to get in the game. You got to go out there and compete. But when you do compete and when you do win at the game that they set up, when you find the one way to win, they shut it down. They shut it down at your expense. You guys shut down what? 1-2 hedge funds got burnt out on that? And then they stopped trading and costed people entire livelihoods to get them right. They cheated in your face, and we didn't set this whole shit on fire. And y'all just took it. And then to turn around and ask why I trust Bitcoin, I'm like, why do you trust dollars?
Right.
Like, how can you trust a system that cheated and spit in your face and regularly tells you we're trying to make sure you're safe? It's not covered by the government. You're right, it's not covered by the government. I'd rather have the government cover no money, because they're not going to bail you out. They're not bailing y'all out. You know how long you got to wait if your bank collapses to get your money from the federal government through the FDIC? You will be homeless. They won't even know where to send the check by the time they start cutting you your check. It's not instant. The only people who come out on top in this system are those who are financially at the top of it, that are also astute, because we see rappers, we see basketball players, we see people who look like us all the time fumble the bag back into bagging shit at Price Chopper.
Yep.
This game, like, if you don't know what game you're in, you might want to get that sorted out first, because the system that we're in is corrupt as hell. It's set up so that only the people at the top get to do any of the stuff, and everyone else is playing with the crumbs, and they've made you complacent and happy about it because you're comfortable being held down and suppressed. So much so that you don't notice that when things get more expensive, it's because of them. Things are getting more expensive for you. They're not getting expensive for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, like, you gotta look at it this way.
Let me do the super chat real. Let me do it. Oh, Mike, let me do a super chat real fast. I don't want to make sure we definitely get this question in. Shout out to my man Tez the Five from 5100, one half of the 5100. Shout out to you, brother, for coming through. He said, "How can a broke guy like myself get involved in crypto? What steps should I take?" Well, brother, I think you're taking the first step, because you were here with these guys, and these guys are sharing their knowledge. So I think you're in the right direction. Just continue to listen and take notes.
Well, brother, this is one thing I can tell you is this. This is how you can basically help yourself starting tonight. Now, to keep it simple, you can go to Coinbase.com. You can basically just start. You can basically just start this. Start simple. Coinbase.com, or you can go on your iPhone or your Android, download it, go ahead and basically get registered on Coinbase. And then one little simple thing that I basically recommend to even all the men that I mentor is DCA, dollar cost average. Every paycheck, every time you get that little extra money, from doing like a hustle, you get a STEM check, whatever it may be. Every payday, $25 or whatever you can afford. You take that $25, you buy $25 worth of Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Just go ahead and buy it. Don't get involved in all the meme coins and all that. Just basically stick with Bitcoin right now. Right now, because there's a ETF that is about to be awarded. Just run with Bitcoin right now. Just keep it simple. Every 2 weeks when you get paid, DCA, dollar cost average, buy yourself some Bitcoin, buy it, learn, read the Bitcoin white paper. Go ahead and read it. You may need to read it a few times. That's fine. Go ahead and basically learn about it. You start from the very beginning. You start with your pay. You start with your expenses. If you spending a little extra money, I mean, like on some Jordans, look, you don't need those Jordans right now. Skip the Jordans. Hey, you was gonna go to the club and you're gonna do all these shots. Go ahead and basically skip that part. Go ahead and pay yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in your future. Just be willing to basically take a step back from those expenditures and basically put that into Bitcoin. On your pay, you can also set like one, if you get a regular pay like weekly or even every 2 weeks, you can go to your to HR and basically tell them, hey, look, every 2 weeks, every week's whatever job it may be, I want I want to check to basically go direct deposit into this into this Coinbase account. It basically gets in there. You'll never see it because number one, it'll go directly. I'm sorry, you'll never see it in your checking account. It'll go directly into your Coinbase account. When it gets into your Coinbase account, you go ahead and you buy. You can even set it up to do it automatically. I mean, like, if you want to, you can set up to where it gets out of your check automatically, and then when it gets into Coinbase, Coinbase can basically purchase it for you automatically as well. So that's a very quick way of doing it. Start out $25 every paycheck.
So
Just keep it simple.
let me ask you this, guys.
Mhm.
Can it be pre-tax? Can they take it out pre-tax? Is
Yes.
that a question I need to talk with my HR about?
There are Bitcoin IRAs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There is I Trust Capital, and then there's also I'm sorry, I Trust Capital is the largest that's out there right now, and I believe there's two others. I've never, I've never looked at them, but I have seen them. But those you can actually use your you can take your pre-tax dollars, and also another thing too, if your company has a 401k,
Mhm.
this is what I want you to do. Go ahead and get this free money. Okay, there's free money out there. A lot of companies will basically match whatever you put into your 401k up to 4%. A lot of companies will match it. So if you're not putting anything into 401k, you're missing out on some free money from your company, from your employer. So you basically take it up to 4% out of your paycheck. It's pre-tax. It takes it out, puts it into 401k. You go ahead and you get that additional matching 401k from your employer. So that's free money. That's free money.
Another thing is free money is this game they telling you guys. So,
Mhm.
guys, please take this opportunity right now to hit the like button. Give me some of this free money by hitting that like button. Can you do that for me? I'm not one of those guys going to beg you for super chat every 5 minutes. I'm not going to do that. This is not me. But if you send it, I appreciate you. And thank you for Actual King. And thanks to my man Taz the Five for the blessing. You didn't have to do it, but I appreciate the blessings y'all sent me today. I got another question I want to highlight. I think it's one of your subscribers, Black Lexicon, Ray. Let me put it up, Ray.
Oh yeah.
He said, Ray, have you ever gone over the different verifications of digital money?
Well, so one of the things that I always tell people is I don't look at this space like money, more or less, unless it's like a dollar derivative. Especially Bitcoin. I look at it and because I don't advocate spending it. Like I understand if you're in a second world situation and you need to because you're in a corrupt system and you're dealing with hyperinflation and you need something that's working against that, understandable. But in a first world country such as America, we're not there yet. We're experiencing inflation. It's not great, but we can still buy stuff with our dollars. And we have pretty much a stable economy to where you're not going into the coffee shop one day and then the next day you go in, it's a $5 difference between the same cup of coffee. We're not dealing with that. So I do not advocate for spending Bitcoin, period. Like I really don't. It's a hedge. It's a hedge against inflation. Like I look at it like I would look at my house. I would not go get a HELOC on my house to go buy coffee at the Starbucks down the road. Like it just doesn't financially make sense. To be like, so you're just going to give your whole house up to go get these cups of coffee? Like that's ridiculous. And with Bitcoin, especially with the amount of appreciation you get off of it, it's also not exactly, unless you're using it as a very hyper accelerated savings vehicle for large purchases. So like say you were saving up and you need to save up, like me personally, I have an allocation that I'm saving up for my next property and I'm saving it 100% in Bitcoin to a certain cutoff point. And I'm using that as an accelerated savings vehicle. Outside of that small allocation of like what's coming out of my budget that was going to my house savings budget, I'm like, well, I will get more out of Bitcoin than I will out of the market. So I'm not going to keep it there. It just makes sense right now going into a bull run cycle to put all the money there and be like, cool, this will double or triple. And I'll pull it out when I'm ready to go make the purchase. And there we go. Outside of that, I don't believe in spending it. And I'll tell you this, I'm not going to feel good about it. Like, I'm not going to feel good about it. Like, I already know now as it's growing, I'm like, man, I should just put that away. like honestly, like it's one of those things where it actually, for me, it's like if you're talking about generational wealth and you're talking about moving the needle forward, I don't like doing that. Like the last time that I pulled any large sum out of the market was when it wasn't the last bull run. It was the bull run before that. And I figured out how to leverage my crypto, which they took away. Stupid SEC took away that avenue. They closed that door. But I took a loan against my cryptocurrency and used that to pay off my credit card debt and get my down payment for my house. And like now you can't do that anymore. And like that's one of the things that I always say, like when we talk about how people navigate and like the way the gurus want to tell you how to do stuff, like there's certain moves that I made last bull run that y'all can't make now because the SEC screwed it up for everybody because they start closing doors. So like I couldn't replicate what I did then now. And it's like, that's part of the issue when you have a government that's like has bad policy and doesn't want people changing their status in life. Because like they want you crippled in debt and working and renting. They don't want you owning property and being debt free because you don't have to list.
Well, and also too, another thing you got to look at here is this: the different variations.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them, even the so-called stable coins,
mm-hmm.
even those from time to time will lose their peg.
Yep.
When they lose, when they lose their peg, sometimes it's supposed to be 99 cents to $1, and then the next thing you know, it slipped down to 87 cents.
Yep.
Now, mind you, if you have liquid and you got some dry powder like on the side, that's the perfect time to basically grab it, make a few points, when it quote unquote when it catches its peg again. But just like Ray said, the one thing you want to do when you basically look at Bitcoin is this: Bitcoin is truly a hedge. And the one thing I can say is this, and I'll basically share this: my greatest failure that has ever happened to me ever in my life was that I could have bought Bitcoin back when it was about $625 per coin. And I wanted to buy like $10,000 like out of my company, and I was talking to my to like my um, CFO. The goal was to basically buy like 10,000 a year and about 2,500 every quarter. I completely let him talk me out of that, and
Dang.
because because of that, that was around 600, 650 or so. Right now it's at $43,000. I literally, me and my wife could have literally retired like 4 years ago because of that. So this is why I basically mentioned this is why you want to study, this is why you want to learn. And Hink and everybody here, you're still on the very beginning. It is still, you still have time to make it. You still have time to learn. You still have time to basically grasp hold and basically make this work. Not only just for you, but for your family and even for your children's children. So yes, there is variations out there, but I will basically say until you learn the market, just stick with Bitcoin. Just keep it simple. Stick with Bitcoin because when Bitcoin rises, everything else rises. When Bitcoin drops, for the most part, everything else drops.
I like it. I like it. Shout out to my brother, the actual King Smith, for coming through again. Now, look, you guys. I don't know if y'all know. I play fantasy football. I'm a avid fan of fantasy football, and I'm in the league with my brother, the actual King, and I'm kicking his ass right now, about 30-something points. Now, in his league, I got to play him twice in order to beat him and move on. But he's down 30 points. So it's like I'm going into the next game up 30 points. So whatever he scores, he's got to get 30 more points or 31 more points in order to beat me, right? The prize is a $50 gift card. So I'm letting the actual King know right now. If I win this, I'm going to use that $50 gift card, Visa card, and I'm going to start my crypto. So I want to thank you, actual King, not only for this blessing of a super chat that you sending me, but I feel like I'm going to win this league, and it's only a matter of time. And I'm gonna use that Visa card to start my Bitcoin account. Thank you, King. I just want to let you know that, brother. No, but he said, last question: would y'all hedge and buy crypto-related stocks like RITO and Coin, or go all in on crypto?
Me personally, I would for a Bitcoin bull cycle. I'm all in the crypto space. Like so for me, I prefer to have all my money working, and for as long as I've been in the space and the things that I'm doing within the DeFi ecosystem, it's just easier for me to make money in that space. So for me, I'm all in. Like I don't use centralized exchanges at all beyond Cash App at this point, and that's just to get Bitcoin in and out if I need it. So like I'm not using Coinbase, I'm not using any of the exchanges. Like I don't deal with tokens that I can't bridge to at this point because I don't like using them because they can lock up your money. Like and I really don't like that. Also, it's just the opportunities that are on there, even the platforms that still offer some semblance of staking, it's just not what I can get. So like I don't do that, but like with my allocations that go into my traditional finance portfolio, I am working out a way to get some micro strategy in there to have that touch on both sides. But I'm so overextended into the cryptocurrency space that for me, it makes almost no sense to even buy a crypto related stock because most of my, like, I'd say over 85% of my net worth personally, and that's including my property, is in crypto. All of it's there. So
Now, I would basically put it this way. Now, King Smith, this is the way how I would basically approach it, and this is how I basically mention the men that are around me. It will depend on your risk level. If you are very risk adverse, then you probably want to stick with stocks. Also, where are you in life? Are you just starting out? Then you can do a bit more risk when you're younger because number one, you have time to recoup it. Now, if you're an older person, if you're 40 going up to about like retirement age, then I would sit here and say, take a look at your 401k, take a look at all your investments, and then sit here and say, look, by the age of 62, CNBC says that you need to have 1.6, $1.7 million in order to retire. Take a look where you're at right now. If you are, for example, I'm 54 years old. If you are 54 years old and you don't have six figures or more inside of 401k and stocks and or that value in property that's quote unquote liquid, then you need to sit here and say, what is going to get me to age 62 to where one, I can have that one, like that $1.6 million. The only thing that grows that fast is crypto, particularly Bitcoin. For like example, this year alone, if you would have bought Bitcoin at its lowest, Bitcoin right now, 1 year return right now is 158% right now. 158%. That is the return on investment. So that means not only did you double your money, you added almost another 60% to it. On the stock market, even on a good year in the stock market itself, usually a good year is considered between 10 and 25%. A great year is about 25% to 40%. Anything else anything else that's high that's higher than that means that you did option tradings and that you were able to get in some really good puts to basically get the option in to where you were able to buy it low and then sell it high. So those are the factors that I tend to break down, like with the men that I mentor, and I kind of give them that type, like that type of structure based on, are you risk adverse? Where are you at your age? Where are you financially? Because if you're getting closer to those like when you're getting closer to those retirement ages, you need a faster, stronger horse in order to get you across the line.
I like that. I like it. We got another question from my brother Payne. OG R Payne, man. He's coming in there and posing a question. And this question is, he said, how do I decide whether to hold long term or trade cryptos? What strategies
should the novice employ? He fat fingered. You know how our pain is.
Okay. All right. Okay. But Brother Payne, I just appreciate that you still know how to use the computer, brother. I appreciate that. Shout out to you. And Brother Payne, thank you for the blessings. You know I give you a hard time. You know why? Because you're my OG, and I know you can handle it. You're a good sport, and I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming by and blessing me with this $5 super chat. So go ahead, guys.
I've said this a million times. The only long-term holdings I have, and like I said, every Wednesday, you guys get to, I do my portfolio breakdown, so y'all know exactly the moves I'm making. But even with how the portfolio is set up right now, the only things that I look at long-term are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else, in the words of Axelrod from Billions, everything that's not family is cannon fodder. Like, that's what it is. Like, all those positions are set up to get as much Bitcoin and Ethereum as I can get my hands on, and that's my game. Now, I understand that other people have leanings towards other projects, and that's fine for your strategy. Totally fine. But the only time those strategies work historically is during the bull run. That's the only time it works. And you know, like as far as long term and what it comes back to and like riding those waves, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only two that I would ride the waves on right now based on where the money is. Bitcoin's a no-brainer. That ain't going away. For me, Ethereum is second place because as a liquidity provider, I'm looking at where money is locked up in protocols and utilization of protocols. I'm directly in that mix every day, 24 hours a day. All the money's on Ethereum. All the institutional money's on Ethereum. There's a reason that every single project, one of the main things that became a project now, everybody went from we're ETH killers to, oh, we can bridge to ETH. ETH doesn't bridge to anyone. Everyone builds their bridge the other way. That tells you where all the money is. Because the only barrier for entry for Ethereum, as far as from a utilization standpoint, from an end user perspective, is it's a rich man's chain. And what I mean by that is, if you're not moving 5 to 10 grand minimum and in a play, it's very disadvantageous to do anything on that chain because the fees are super high. So people use L2s and then you bridge back. But the only reason we're using those other chains is because the fees are lower. like it just makes it so that instead of having to put all your eggs in one basket and go, I'm going to go ahead and get on this and I'm going to have to move $10,000, I can go, cool. I can break that 10,000 up into 5 different plays at different places and diversify and go $2,000 a piece. And this is still going to be something that's profitable to get on and have to do transactions on all the time. But that aside, it's like you have to figure out what your long-term play is. Like some people, it might only make sense to be Bitcoin only because it's a no-brainer. It's not as sexy, but not as sexy in crypto as 500% gains instead of 10,000% gains. Like, I mean, you ain't getting over 100% anywhere else consistently. Like, but that's the thing. It's like the cryptocurrency space. I always tell people it moves different. It moves at warp speed, and the numbers and the math of it gets stupid. Like we're gonna be sitting at, and I know Wall Street Trapper done told y'all that it's not gonna happen, and I need to get at him because I want to take that bet. It's gonna be at 100,000 before the end of next year. It's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. I'll throw that out there, and that's conservative. That's a conservative guesstimate about where it's going to be because cyclically it should be higher. And people who come from the traditional finance space, like those numbers just don't compute in their heads because, again, they're indoctrinated to be used to getting less. They're like, oh, my portfolio's up 20%. I'm balling. It's like, that's a couple of hours in crypto, bro. Like, oh. like that was from 10 to noon today, bro. Like, what are you talking about? So it's but you have to, and that's the reason that like people will come in here and not have a plan and think they're going to get rich tomorrow and lose everything because everything's on hyperdrive in this space. So if you don't have a plan, you're going to lose money. You're gonna be buying at the wrong time. You're gonna be selling at the wrong time. And those of us who've been here for a long time are taking your money because this is competition. We're competing with each other. There's another human on the other side of every one of your trades that's collecting that money. So like if I have a good day in the market, that means somebody else had a terrible day in the market. So I mean, my strategy for most people is I'm like, buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and just don't look at it. I don't spend money I need. I don't take money out of the market unless it's strategically planned because I'm building for future usage. Like, as long as you're not putting the rent money in, which you should not be doing, as long as your house isn't leveraged to every cent that you have, which you probably shouldn't be doing unless you know how leverage works. You should be like, I always tell people, put money in that you can just not look at for like 5-10 years, 5-10 year windows. Like this wasn't made overnight. And I just want to touch on one thing real quick that Grooming said, because he was asking how much do you need to start. When I started in crypto, when I actually started, I built a mining computer to mine Bitcoin, which you can no longer do. So this ain't even an option. But what I was doing during that time was I was getting my finances right. And once I made the decision that like this is what I was doing, I was literally taking whatever was left after I was managing the debt that I was under, which was sometimes only $5. And I would go exactly like OMAC said. I had my Coinbase hooked up. I put that $5 in there and I put it to work. And I did that consistently. And then when tax return came around, I made it a point to dump at least half of that tax return in it. And that was where I got my leaps ahead. But like when I first started, I mean, my savings for my house right now out of my housing budget, when I first started it, I was shaving off the ends of that. So like my first couple of buys in my portfolio that is actually right now sitting at $3,334.28 that I'm saving. That's my house savings. When I shifted it over to Bitcoin, when I first started, it was going into the market. So like I got a few $1,000s in the market before I started saving exclusively in Bitcoin once I made my plan for the bull run. The first purchase that I made in this specific segment of my portfolio was $32. The second one was $21.36. Like I have no shame about just putting shavings over in Bitcoin because math is math. If it's going double, $20 becomes $40. Like if all I had to throw at it was $20, like having $40 is better than having $20, especially within a small window of time. Like, and that's the thing that people don't understand. Like finance is not about grandiose effort. When people look at people that are getting it, that are making money, that are actually giving you actual game about how money works, it scales. Even if you broke and you only got $5, doubling up a 5 is 10. You double up a 10, you at 20. Like there's that whole I don't have enough money excuse, especially if you got Jordans on, and you got name brand clothes, or you out drinking at the club and you got a nice outfit on that costs more than my outfit, but I'm worth more than you. Like it just doesn't make sense. There's no barrier of entry for this market.
Yeah.
You just get to compete. And like it's not necessarily like I don't even listen to people because look at this. I've been in this market since 2013 and I've touched on damn near every aspect outside of development that there is in crypto. So I don't come at it from a perspective of like, oh, this is my portfolio now, I got more money than you. Because there's people who got way more money than me that started yesterday. But them dumping hundreds of thousands of dollars and being like, oh, I bought 5 Bitcoin. That doesn't equate to you knowing what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of those things. Like this is competition. If you started yesterday, you haven't made as much money as me in this market. You don't have the experience in this market, period. Because you started yesterday. It means your portfolio starts from then. It's just got more numbers in it. But like this game, this space was not made for them. It was not made for people that were already rich. It was made for y'all. It was made for those of you who only have $5 so that you can compete. That was the entire reason that they started this. The only reason the big money's coming in now is because they can't control it and they will no longer be relevant because their system is getting ready to spiral out of control.
Yeah.
Like, so don't ever let someone tell you that you don't have enough money to start investing. You might not have enough money to get taken seriously by a brokerage, but in crypto, there's no middleman. It's just you and the market.
Yep.
Well, let me do the super chat. What you going to answer?
No. You go ahead and you do like the super chat, and then I will add to it that way.
Okay. Brother Payne came back with another great question. And guys, for those who asked some questions in the chat, I definitely start them and I highlight them and I will get to them. But I got to make sure I prioritize these super chat questions. They're very important because these great people decided to donate to the show, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you, Marriage, Politics and Sports. You didn't have to, but you blessed me, and I appreciate it. He said, would you tell folks to stay away from the theme cryptos. Elon, Bonk, Dodge, Ape. I don't know what that
Shiv,
Shiv.
Shiv, yeah.
Okay, these may not all be the themes, but I took a swing. I know I swag. I got you, buddy. I got you. I think you mean swing, but okay. You have to get it together. You have to talk to Tex or something. Come on, Birds. Come on, brother Payne. Come on, brother. I got you though. So go ahead, Mike. Since you already
So
got the floor.
so what I will say here is this is to basically also add on to like what Ray said as well.
Okay.
It doesn't take much to basically get into Bitcoin. If you got $5, fine. You go ahead and you do $5. If you got $25, if you really get serious about your future, everybody got some money. Everybody has some money. Now, true, just like what Ray said, now you may not be taken serious as a quote unquote, a high end investor and or a certified investor. Fine, but Bitcoin doesn't need that. Bitcoin does not need that. When it comes down to any one of the meme coins, which is Bonk, Doge, Ape, Shib, and all of these Enos and Anos and all of this other stuff, I basically tell any one of the men that I mentor, I tell them, don't waste your time. You haven't studied it. You know, you haven't studied it. Just basically keep your powder dry, move it toward Bitcoin, learn about the market, learn about what Bitcoin really does. Basically handle the long term first, learn about what crypto is, and then if you get, a stem check, put X amount into Bitcoin. If you got 50 like left over, go ahead and do something like with Bonk or something like that. After you learn the
Mhm.
market. If you haven't learned the market, keep it very simple. Keep it, learn the market first. Do Bitcoin. Then when you learn some more, go over to like Ethereum then. And then when you learn and really have gone through, a bull market, then a bear market, then go ahead and look at memes then. That's further down the line. And also another thing too, and this is, this may, kind of seem a bit drastic, but the one thing I'm gonna say here is this: the main reason why big money such as BlackRock, Invesco, and all of them are coming into Bitcoin right now is this: they know that the fiat system is going down. The petrodollar is going down. They know that. They know that there's other countries looking to break away from the petrodollar. They know that. So what the government wants now, the government is working with, like with these big companies. They are working with them. The reason why they want them to is because number one, when BlackRock and the rest of them come in, a whole bunch of people are going to flood and basically send all their money to BlackRock, Invesco, JP Morgan, and all the big boys. They're going to send all their money there. Well, guess what? The main reason why the government wants big money to come in like that, the big banks or the big company and the big investment companies come in, the reason why is the government wants their cut.
Mhm.
The government wants right now, the government does not get tax money. Only way that they get tax money is when people are buying and purchasing on Coinbase and the other public exchanges. That is the only way that they are getting their tax money. The government cannot stand for a regular American like you and I to learn about Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Now, I'm gonna basically quickly talk about this one lady. Now, this lady's name is Kathy Woods. If you look up Kathy
Mhm.
Woods, Kathy Woods looks like a librarian. Okay, she looks like a librarian, one of the smartest investment people on the planet. She bought Tesla right when Tesla was about to go bankrupt. She bought Tesla.
Mhm.
They thought she was an absolute nutcase for buying Tesla. She made billions off of buying Tesla. Tesla is now still a long-term hold inside of her company. Now the reason why I bring her up is because she recently about 6 months ago, stated that she believes in their analysis of Bitcoin that one Bitcoin by 2030 will be worth $1.3 million. Now, mind you, now $1.3 million per coin. Now, there is no, and I'm gonna basically put this flat. There is no stock, there is no derivative, there is no put that you can make to buy one thing and by 2030 reach $1.3 million. There's not anything in the financial system, even with derivatives, anything beyond 5 to 8 hours on a stock derivative, you may go bankrupt on basically running that thing. There is nothing out there that's going to have that type of power of earning and growing like Bitcoin. And if you see people like her, and she basically runs a firm called ARK Invest. If ARK Invest is now throwing tons and tons of money into buying up and basically preparing for their own Bitcoin ETF, then you need to follow the smart money with an understanding. Now, you may not be able to buy big like she does, but you can still follow her example. You can
Mhm.
still follow her company's example of going like, look, if they are buying Bitcoin, I need to as well. Look at Michael Saylor. I'm the look at Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor sat there and everybody initially laughed at him. They laughed at him and sat there and said that you're about to sink your company buying Bitcoin. Buying Bitcoin. He is now second largest corporation. I'm sorry. His company is the second largest holder of Bitcoin. And right now, his company right now is up from buying Bitcoin for the last, I think, three and a half years to 4 years. They are up somewhere about, I think it's about $8 billion in the profit just holding Bitcoin. So I will say to anybody that's out there, DCA, dollar cost average, every paycheck, go ahead and basically get you some Bitcoin. If you get a stem check, go ahead and you know um go ahead and get some Bitcoin. Go ahead and basically don't spend all your money. Hey, look, you like you're looking at doing a takeout order. You know what? We did that 15 times last month. Let's go ahead and let's cut that down to 7 times this month. Take that other money, go ahead and go buy some Bitcoin. I mean, you have money. You just have to prioritize how you're going to quote unquote utilize your funds.
Mhm.
Well, question came from my man, who they make, and his question is, what is the long-term goals for OMAC and Ray investing into crypto? Ray, you want to go first, and then
Oh
OMAC
yeah.
can go.
Oh, I mean, I don't mince no words about it, bro. I'm trying to get rich as fuck. Like, like it's not like what are we talking about? Like, I need the ability to navigate the way that I see fit. And if you don't have wealth, you have no ability to say no to any of the stuff that's going on. And I'm too outspoken to be in any field, even though I am part owner of a business, to be in any field where you can get canceled. So like I navigate the way that I believe all men should navigate, identify the problem and fix it. If the way that this system wants to work is they depersonalize you for having dissenting opinion or not towing the line or not staying on code, then I'll remove your ability to cancel me and then I'll say whatever the hell I want. So for me, it's more of this is an opportunity to put yourself into a space to where I can just make my money in crypto and you can't stop me. JP Morgan can be like, oh, I don't want to have your money. Doesn't matter. You never had any of it anyway. It was a place for the check to land. I can switch that out. Like that, like I said, like this is the max level, the ultimate form of somebody who's oppositionally defiant. If you give them an opportunity to put themselves in a position where you can't tell them what to do, this is what you get. Because that's the only thing that they can't take away at this point. It's the only thing they can't take away. Like they can't come take my Bitcoin. They can't sanction my Bitcoin. Like it's that and your integrity and your soul are the only two things, is crypto and your soul. The only two things you can actually own on this planet right now. Like in my opinion. So for me, the long-term goal is to position myself to where I don't have to worry about being canceled. I can take care of the people that are around me that I've surrounded myself with, and I can navigate as I see fit. Because all money is at the end of the day is opportunity and energy and ability to facilitate. And we are in a system where they can turn those things off for you if they do so, if they so choose. And obviously that's not a concern for most people, but the fact that they do it to some people should make it a concern for all people.
Well, the one thing I would say here is this: when it comes down to investing in crypto, as I've stated before, first of all, primarily top of the food chain, Bitcoin. I want to basically introduce you to a term called FinSolve, which means financial sovereignty. In other words, that means you don't need a bank. You don't need a bank. You don't need a credit. You don't need a credit union. You don't need a brokerage account. With Bitcoin on your cold card, like on your cold wallet or hot wallet, you can go anywhere in the world, and no one can say anything about it. Nobody can stop you. Just like right now, just as Ray mentioned, if you have a dissenting opinion and you tick off the wrong people or like the wrong administration, and you have a checking account or you have a business, you can get audited. You can have your checking account basically shut down. And then on top of the fact that these particular these bureaucrats and these politicians are now wanting to do a CBDC, which is now a digital dollar,
Mm-hmm.
is even worse. Now, here's the bad thing about a digital dollar. That means there's no more physical money. And most of us now don't walk around with that much physical money anyway. See, with a CBCD, that means it's a digital dollar. That means they get to see anything and everything that you do. And when the government can see anything and everything that you can do, that's scary. Because depending on what type of administration, depending on what type of politicians basically get in there, can can you know can you imagine? Because number one, you said a joke that you have
Mm-hmm.
somehow or another made some type of quote unquote offense. And some states now, what you say can be held criminal. So like if you misgendered somebody in some states now, I think it's like in two states now, that could be considered a criminal crime. Can you imagine someone saying that you have now basically are now committed a criminal crime? They have now filed a police report against you. They now have a warrant on you, and now in order to quote unquote lock you down, they sit there and they decide to lock your checking account, lock your checking account. Oh, so you're like your checking or your savings account. That is scary. But guess what? If you get good old Bitcoin on a hot wallet or on a cold wallet, you can still buy and still and still live your life, because number one, they can never control that. So when it comes down to investing, I say this: Bitcoin is that long-term investment. For me, you'll sit there and see where I basically mentioned Proverbs 13:22, where it says that a good man leaves a inheritance onto his children's children. For me, anything and everything that I do right now in crypto, in Bitcoin, that's really not for me. That's for my children and my grandchildren, and basically part of the stuff that I basically mentioned, that and what I have structured through like my family trust is very simple. The Bitcoin never gets sold. Now, you can quote unquote get interest money off of the Bitcoin, but you're never selling the Bitcoin ever. And as it grows and grows and grows, the goal, just like Ray say, get as much Bitcoin as possible. Get as much as you can. Look, this is the time for you to go into the major part to where one, you're kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street. You trying to be as greedy as possible to get as much Bitcoin as you can, because once this ETF comes out, once the halving comes out, and all these big boys get in, they are going to make sure that when the price goes up, the price going up is going to be because of Bitcoin growing. But the other part is to make sure that you and I and other people like us cannot ever buy one Bitcoin like without literally being over 100 to 200,000 dollars. I mean, like at that point, most African Americans are completely shut out. They will never own one Bitcoin at that point, and that's a crying shame.
Sounds like it, my brother. Let me shout out to Miss Natasha for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you for the blessing. You didn't have to, but you chose to bless me. So I greatly appreciate it. She said, like a wolf, I think. Is that a wolf?
Oh, yeah, the wolf pack. They have my people in the house, bro.
Okay. Shout out to the wolf pack. Shout out to the wolf pack. Supporting everyone, getting all kinds of bags. I know that's right, a bag and a rocket. Shout out to you, Miss Natasha. I appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you for coming by. And hopefully this is beneficial to you. Hopefully it is. And like to everybody else in the chat, hopefully it's beneficial to you guys. One more. Black Lexicon had a question for you guys. It was this: Bitcoin is also federally taxed. How have you been handling that? Is there a loophole? I know that's right. I'm all for those too.
You just don't sell. Like or if you do sell, just pull 40% to the side and don't spend that. Like,
well, I will say this. One, if you ever, it's almost impossible to do right now. You can download the Bitcoin node software. You can basically download the software. If you got some spare computers, you got a spare server or something like that around, and you just let that sucker run. Just recently, I think it was about a month and a half ago, somebody using a small little mining system. I think it was about $500 to like $1,000 on my system. They got lucky, and they were able to solve the block at that particular time. They were awarded 6.25 Bitcoin. Now, mind you, when they did that, that was awarded to them. That was on that machine. Now, only thing I can say here is this: like Ray said, at that point, I would never sell. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say if they ever need to claim anything on that. I'm going to basically let them decide if they ever going to claim. But I kind of see, well, the story's out. I would sit there and say that they would need to claim. But if you were ever awarded anything on mining, it is what it is. It is what it is. So like, because like if you mined it and you wind up getting the block, you never sold. There's no taxes to be, to like declare. But, and as far as loopholes, I would say this. You can look on YouTube. There is a lot of individuals in the past 3 years have all of a sudden left, and they have now gone to Dubai. They have left America and they have gone to Dubai. So that's the ultimate loophole. I wouldn't suggest it, but I'm just saying. And I'm pretty sure Ray can say this as well. This is also not financial advice.
Facts. Don't trust people on the internet. But also, along with Dubai, Portugal wants you to be there too. Just saying. I mean, but the reality is,
like Palau. Palau, like, it's a new one too.
Yep.
Palau. Yeah.
I mean, the reality of it is at the rate that our government is going, because of the way that our system is spiraling, they're going to experience the same brain drain that India is experiencing, except for it's going to be all the people who are going to be the new ruling class of finance, and they're all going to leave. I think that's what's going to happen. Like as soon as they did the lockdown, like as soon as they did that, I went and got my passport. Like I was like, I'm not playing with y'all. Like as soon as we get to go outside, we gonna have to make some adjustments because y'all just told us we couldn't go outside. Like I don't know that I don't want to be a part of a system where you could just wake up one day and they'd be like, hey, somebody down the street coughed, y'all gotta stay in. Like they literally all the adults got grounded for 2 years. Like y'all did it. No.
Well, I didn't get that lucky. I was considered an essential worker.
Me too. But there wasn't nobody but us on the roads. I was doing 4-lane crosses. I drove off the highway exit and drove straight across one time just because I could. Like it was ridiculous.
Hey, Ray, please believe me, I wasn't pissed about that.
No, it was actually real nice.
Yeah. Have you ever drove? Hey, look, driving through Atlanta, and you sitting there thinking, okay, wait a minute, they did have that zombie TV show, like not too far away from it. I'm sitting there like, dang, ain't nobody on the road.
And you know something? I made my most money. I made my more. Now, this may sound crazy, and I hope you two don't get me in trouble for this. But Lord, if they said shut down again, I wouldn't have no problems. Because I know the overtime will be plentiful. I get hazard pay. You know what I'm saying? I get an extra bump in pay because, I'm an essential worker in the state of Kentucky. Yeah, I would have a problem.
Hey, same thing
Now,
here.
that may be selfish. I don't want to see nobody get sick and pass away. I don't. I promise you I don't. But financially, I benefited, and I'm not gonna lie, and I loved every minute of it. Let me get out of that before they do something to me. I don't want them to do something to me. Shout out to you too. Well, Payne came back with another question. He said, "Do long-term, short-term cap gains apply to selling crypto like it does in stock?" Brother Payne, shout out to you for another great opportunity to donate to my channel. I appreciate the blessing. Thank you, sir. And that's a great question.
Honestly, I don't even know. I honestly don't know because there's no clear clarification. They're just like, we want some money. That's where we're at with this. They're like, did you sell crypto this year? We want some money. And I'm like, how much? We'll tell you. Tell us what you sold. Like almost like a negotiation. It's like literally the government has turned into a shot because there's no clear rules. Because I mean, think about it this way. If you went and physically bought a stone, right? And you cracked it open and it was quartz, and then you went and sold the stone to another person, what's the tax implication on that? There isn't one. So the issue here is this is not buying a company. This is not buying a stock. I mean, this is literally buying a digital good. Like they still haven't. I mean, technically, there's no clear tax identification or classification for NFTs, which are digital JPEGs. They want money for that. Like this is literally you're buying something that's your stuff, and then they're like, yeah, but like we need to tax all this shit. Like it doesn't make sense, which is why the people that are blowing up in this space, like the old guard, a lot of them did leave. They went to Dubai. They went to countries where like there was some sort of clarification, because right now there isn't. And it's like, well, we just want money out of you. We just need to extract out of you. And what's it going towards? It's not going towards fixing potholes. They ain't fixed not a single pothole up the street. But I'll tell you what they have been doing. They've been giving immigrants houses. Like, I don't even want to pay for that. I want the pothole filled. And they're literally not doing that. We sending money to everybody to blow people's kids up. And they're not being clear. So it's just like, yeah, we're just going to come take some money from you at our behest, which is kind of another issue. It's like, what kind of, how are you going to tell me that Taiwan, which is under attack from China, they on an island that they threatening to scorch earth and run away to Japan so that China can't have nothing there? They said, we'll turn this whole thing to glass. How did it take them 2 weeks to get clarification for taxes for cryptocurrency? And America's been doing this for almost a decade. And we can't figure it out, but we're supposed to be the best country in the world. It doesn't make sense. So whenever I sell, I usually just pull 40% off of it and just pray. Like, we'd be like, you're going to have to get the rest of this check later. Like, we're going to have to work out a payment plan, just like if I go to the hospital. Like, give me the payment plan, bro. Like, what we doing, 100 a month? What we going to do, 50 a month? I got 350. What we working with? If we haggling, let's haggle, bro.
Yeah, that's what it really comes. Look, pretty much it goes like this. Just being honest, the government wants their cut. That's where it comes down to. The government believes money has quote unquote exchanged hands. So in their view, since money has exchanged hands, regardless of whatever the scenario is, even if it is now, technically, if I give $200 to Ray, and then I give $200 to Hink, that's not a taxable offense. It isn't. But the government is saying that, hey, anytime you do any type of exchange like that, they want their cut. So just like Ray says, yeah, the government is saying they want their cut. There is no real direct guidelines. The SEC still fumbling around, even though and they definitely know they should know. I mean, look, Gary Gensler is from MIT. He even did classes on Bitcoin. He's still acting like a doofus, and he's still acting like he doesn't know like what he's doing or what is Bitcoin, which I think is crazy when you actually did a class for years on Bitcoin and crypto. So yes, the government, whatever you do, just assume the government wants their cut. Yes, you can do safe and just do, like if you sell, go ahead and move 40% over to the side. I would strongly urge if you sit there and you do Bitcoin as much as possible, don't sell. Do not sell. If you can just leave it long term, just leave it long term. Do not sell. Let the value go up, get the interest off of it. Like the value off of it, you can basically live off of that and you'll be fine. But very simply, if you do sell, go ahead and do the 40%. Now, you have some particular lawmakers that are saying that you can actually charge more in taxes for crypto, which I think is completely at that point. Okay, I'm gonna basically say this kind of like this may sound a little bit out of order, but when I was in the army, my sergeant used to sit there and say, look, when you get in trouble, there's a difference between you holding your ankles or me bending you over to hold your ankles.
Whoa.
There's a difference. So,
Whoa.
so
Whoa.
hey, look, you gotta look at it this way. Anytime you have politicians that are saying that because Bitcoin grows as fast as it does, that it should be taxed higher than even a sale of stock, that's insane. That's not even completely remotely fair. So you're going to penalize anyone basically selling Bitcoin. You're going to basically penalize them more because Bitcoin can quote unquote recover faster in pricing. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way how they're approaching it. So it'll be better for you. Yeah, I mean, like if you sell, just move the money over to the side because if you don't, and Uncle Sam tap you on the shoulder one day, understand he bending you over and you don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let me kind of get back to some of these questions. So a lot of these questions we kind of answered in the midst. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, okay, we kind of answered. But if we didn't, I'm gonna definitely go back because I'm thinking that we kind of answered some of the questions in the midst of these questions that the great people in the chat has been posting. So I definitely appreciate that. So let me help my lady out because I see she posted the question about 2 or 3 times. So I guess she's very interested, and I'm glad to hear that, baby. I promise you I do, because I'm very interested in doing the same thing. So we all on one accord, and that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing that you and your lady are both invested in the same thing and about making money to help not only yourself but your family. So one of her questions is, where is it? Where's it in there? Sorry about that, guys. Let me just go back in the comments. I'm sure she'll post up again here somewhere. I thought I had it in the back, but I don't think. I think she had some question that was totally different. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sorry about that. But I'm gonna let y'all answer this next question for me. And this is what is a full nods? What are full nods? I mean, I didn't understand that.
Nodes. It's just the application that verifies the transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A full node. Okay. For example,
Yeah.
if you download the Bitcoin software, you can basically download it. It's completely open source, which is another great thing. If you have a a old laptop that's still good, you can basically run it on that laptop. You just got to make sure it got good power, and you can basically let it run. If you got an old PC somewhere, you can basically load the software like on that, and basically just kind of strip everything out and just let it run. I mean, look, who knows? You could potentially get lucky. I mean, look, if you get lucky and you basically solve that block, because Bitcoin awards 6.25 every 10 minutes. If you get lucky and you basically hit that block and you're able to decode that block, you're basically looking at it right now. You're looking at $270,000. So that's one heck of a payday for basically letting a laptop run or letting an old computer run. So you can potentially get that lucky because there have been, I mean, normally it's the bigger miners that's basically hitting the blocks, but there have been a few smaller, people running laptops and running small little miners, systems, and they get lucky. So that's why I said, like right now, I mean, like at that point, 6.25 is at $43,000. So each node is a system running a complete software of the Bitcoin, of the Bitcoin software. That's a node, and it basically processes the various the various transactions that will come across the nodes.
Okay, cool, good stuff. Let me. She did repost the questions that she had, but I'm gonna get to that. But first, we got to get to the money. Shout out to Brother Payne for coming through once again with the $5 super chat. He said, one more. How does a beginner open an account? CoinbaseCrypto.com, or what do you suggest?
The one I like Coinbase if you don't know anything, just because they have like a very good knowledge based resource where you can like get paid to learn stuff. Like they have little things you can go through where it teaches you about a cryptocurrency and then it gives you a little bit after you verify knowledge of it, of what they taught you, which I think is very useful. Coinbase has the highest fees on the planet though. Like it's ridiculous. So after you get your feet under you and learn, I normally suggest basically any other exchange that you can still use in the United States, which is basically crypto.com is cool. it's a little bit more complicated than Coinbase, so I wouldn't necessarily suggest people that don't know what they're doing start there, because like the UI, it's a little bit harder to navigate. Like you kind of have to know what you're doing first a little bit. So like Coinbase is a solid one. It's basically it's like signing up for a bank account. You're going to give them all your information and they're going to give you an account. Like that's basically the way that it works. It's not hard to set the accounts up, especially on centralized exchanges. It's like signing up for a bank account. You're going to give them some information. I'm pretty sure with most of the cryptocurrency accounts, for KYC purposes, you're going to have to submit a picture of your driver's license because like that's a thing now. Maybe a little bit of blood from your firstborn if you have kids. But outside of that, like it's pretty straightforward. You just got to know it's you and who it is. And then for them to be able to have you link your bank account to it, they have to do all the KYC stuff, just like a bank.
And I would sit here and say pretty much the same thing. Coinbase is right now the market leader. They are the easiest. They have the deepest, deepest base where if you have questions, you can get somebody on the phone. Also, they have the best right now set up concerning direct deposit, wire deposits. They are very straightforward. It basically works really great. So Coinbase will be first. Anything else like after that, especially with you being a beginner, just go ahead and basically stick with Coinbase. Go ahead and do the verification process. It doesn't take that long to do. You can basically get it done in less than 15 minutes. 15 30 minutes max. You'll be verified, and then at that time, the next thing you do is when you go to work the next day, you basically go like that to HR. You basically let them know, look, every pay, I want to basically take out whatever you can afford. It gets deposited over to Coinbase. You can set it up in Coinbase. Every 2 weeks, you'll go ahead and you'll basically purchase X amount in Bitcoin. And and then like later when you get more versed, then you can use other decentralized exchanges, such as a new one that I'm now looking at is actually Apex, and I like them because you can actually connect your cold, you can connect your cold wallet to it, and then basically do your trades directly on your cold wallet, and you don't have to worry about it staying on the exchange. But for right now, Coinbase is a great place to start, and also the easiest.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me get some of these questions, my lady, if I ask in, because if I don't, I will hear about it later, right? I'm trying to hear about this later. I'm trying to get this thing answered right now. So thank you, Brother Payne. One of the questions is, does Bitcoin have the opportunity to gain interest for savings? And I think we kind of went over that, but just for shits and giggles, let's talk about it.
Well, when it comes down to Bitcoin, I will say this: different exchanges, you can actually earn interest on your Bitcoin. It all depends on which one. Right now with Coinbase, if you have Cosmos, you can earn 9.22%. Cardano, they're doing 2.4. Solana, they're basically doing 5%. USDC, which is a stable coin, they're doing 5.1%. So yes, there is places for you to go to basically stake your Bitcoin and then basically have a quote unquote interest to be to be earned on it. Yeah, and look, and that's fine as long as you're comfortable with staking said Bitcoin. If you're not comfortable with staking it, then you will probably just want to hold your Bitcoin and then just let it grow, like that way.
So the next question is for you, Ray. Let's go.
Okay.
Can a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency account be deposited and withdrawn from?
Yes. Short answer is yes. I wouldn't set up an account anywhere that won't let you withdraw out to your own wallet. It's just not a good idea. Because obviously constraints, you don't want that. Also, I don't recommend people just have their cryptocurrency sitting on a centralized exchange. It's not the greatest idea, because what you're going to see happens every year during the bull run. Once stuff starts getting crazy, because stuff will get ridiculous. Like, people don't understand what it's like going through a bull run until you go through a bull run. And the first time you get blindsided, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And those of you who are starting to dip your toes in are still going to get blindsided, because what's going to happen is you're going to go to bed one night. You're going to be feeling yourself. You're going to be feeling good. You're going to go, hey, this is nice. I got my little Coinbase account banged out, man. And you're going to wake up the next morning, and your Coinbase account's going to have had like $500 in it, right? And then you wake up the next morning, and it's like $3,000, and you're going to freak out. And you're going to be like, oh, I need to get in here and make some moves. And you're not going to be able to log in. And then there's going to be a news report about Coinbase somehow having a server-side issue. And like, you ain't going to get in for the window where you needed to make your trades. And then by the time you get in, there's only $2,000 in there, which is still good. But you upset because the $3,500 looked way tastier than the $2,000 you sitting at now, and you didn't have access to your funds. And then what's going to happen is, a few months later, you're going to go to sleep and you're going to be like, man, I got $5,000 in this account. I done built my portfolio up. I know what I'm doing. And you're going to wake up the next morning, and it's going to be $2,000 in there. And you're going to be upset. And you're going to go try to log into your Coinbase account, and you're not going to be able to log in. And then by the time you can get in, it's going to be back down to 500, and you're going to be upset. Because it happens both directions. And it's they won't admit it, but they've got a circuit breaker. It happens on Robinhood. It happens on most centralized exchanges. Something will happen in the market. You'll get one of those wild candles, and people will make a lot of money. And if you're not already logged in, you can't do anything. And you can't get in. And sometimes you'll be logged in and you won't be able to make trades. Like, it's just part of how they kind of are trying to control the game. And me personally, I don't like not having access to my money at any time, regardless of whether I was going to sell or not. I don't like going, I can't do what I wanted to do with my money. Like, it doesn't sit right with me, especially in this market. And it's one of the main reasons that, like, I'm set up full DeFi. Like, I don't even do positions that I can't get to. So, like, there's bags that I'll leave on the table. Like, I was planning on doing XRP this year. I was going to bring that back into the fold. I don't have an easy way to bridge over to it, so I'm not doing it. I was just like, I'm not willing to even log in to put some money on a centralized exchange to mess with it. Because, like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't want to deal with the feeling of trying to log into something and not being able to make the trade that you needed to make until after the window's gone is beyond frustrating to me. And, like, I can't live my life like that. So yes, I would not set up an account anywhere that will not let you transfer your cryptocurrency out to your wallet. Now, if that's your only means of exchanging, you're going to be stuck in this doom loop anyways, but at least you have control of your crypto because it's in your wallet. So you can't log in to send the money back anyway. But like at least you don't, at least at that point it's like, did I lose all of this because, like, I can't get into this thing.
Mm-hmm. So I got one more. She's saying, Can Bitcoin be converted into regular currency? How?
You want to do that one?
Yeah.
Yes,
you can convert. Yeah, you can convert Bitcoin into regular fiat. You can basically, if you're on Coinbase, you can go ahead and basically just click on the right side of Coinbase. You see, you'll basically see three little dots where, like, your Bitcoin is, and then you can basically click on it. Like, you basically right click on it and say sell. You'll basically sell at that time. It'll do a market order, which means whatever the current price of Bitcoin is at that particular time, that's what it will sell. That is what it'll sell for at that time. And then, like when it sell, it'll be inside of your Coinbase account. You can then tell Coinbase, all right, I want to cash out. You can then cash out of Coinbase and go to your particular bank. So, if you're at Regions, JP Morgan, Chase Bank, whatever it may be, or you're at what, or you're on one, you're at Wells Fargo. When you hit cash out, it will then give you um, three options. You'll basically be able to do a wire, ACH,
Mhm.
or quote unquote. I think the new one is they will cut you a live check, but I don't think you want a live check.
Yeah, sound like Uncle Sam's gonna get a hold of that and gonna tax the shit out of that. Yeah, we
Yeah,
trying to
that's what.
keep them away from this.
Oh yeah, yeah. You want to minimize selling as much as possible. You want to minimize your tax burden, and there's nothing illegal with that. There's nothing illegal with that.
I like that even more. I appreciate that, OMAC. I like that even more. My man, excuse me, AB said, if I had to start over with 100, what crypto would I be able to invest in?
Ooh. So if all you is it all you have is $100, or is it like you starting with $100 and you're going to continue to put more money in? I mean, that's a tough one. Like, okay, so if all I had was $100, I would probably just I would put it in Bitcoin and I'd just not look at it for 10 years. That's what I would do if that was it. Now, if you were starting off with $100 and you were like, I'm going to chip away at this check, and we're starting right now, going into this bull cycle, I would put that $100 in Ethereum, and I would continue to dollar cost average into Ethereum with the intent of holding that for 10 years or so. And I would do it on a platform that allowed staking, and I would stake it. And then I would take the staking rewards from that, and I would buy Bitcoin. That's what I would do.
And I will sit there and say pretty much the same thing. Like I would say this: you have a couple scenarios. If you only had 100, then definitely the long term Bitcoin, just basically put in there. Now, if you are going to learn about crypto, and you plan on learning, and you plan on trading, and you plan on making moves to where every pay you're going to be putting something in there, still start out with Bitcoin, learn the market, and as you learn the market, altcoins do move faster than Bitcoin. They move faster, and they are far more volatile than Bitcoin. It's nothing for an altcoin to go up 500%. The problem is it's just as easy to go 600% down the other way. That's the problem. It is that, it can be that volatile. And a lot of people cannot handle those types of swings. That is absolutely bonkers to a lot of people. They quickly lose it when they see something rise that fast, and they definitely snap off when they see, hey, I'm doing great. Go, you basically come back from lunch, you down 60%. Oh, snap, what happened? So like I said, as long as you are long term, Bitcoin. If you're going to keep on growing, keep on learning, you're going to look at trading, go ahead, you can look at some other things. But otherwise than that, keep it simple. You're starting out, just keep it simple. Bitcoin.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. Hey, guys, I appreciate the questions y'all are putting out there for me. I promise you I do. These are great questions, man. These are great questions. This looked like one of, again, the questions that was answered, but I'm going to try to help the people out, just in case for those who came into the church late. How dare you? Dang, Nabby, you coming in late. That's all right. Better late than never. Hopefully, you hit the like button on your way in. Hopefully you subscribe if you haven't done that yet. But for those who are late and didn't get this answer, we're going to go with right here. How can Bitcoin investments get started? Where does a person go to get a Bitcoin cryptocurrency account?
So,
go ahead.
Oh, so I mean, we did touch on this quite a few times. I mean, you've got there's still quite a few places. You have a few options. If you're just starting out and you're new to the space, the best place to get onboarded is going to be Coinbase. They have the most resources. They have a really good learning ecosystem where you can get some little cryptos into your account from just learning stuff and verifying the knowledge. They have like little tests at the end of their courses. That's also pretty fun. It teaches you about different stuff in the ecosystem. The fees are high, and you won't notice it until you are on a different exchange. But that's basically the only caveat. But it's the 800-pound gorilla. They made it super easy, very good interface. So starting out, I would start there till you know what you're doing. And as soon as you get to the point to where you know how to transfer crypto from, say, your Coinbase to a cold storage or a hot wallet, set up an account at a different exchange so that way you can not get raked over the coals and fees.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, Coinbase, easiest thing to do. It doesn't take that long to basically set it up. You can set it up for like your payroll check. You can set it up so that when you get anything that basically comes into like your checking account, you can get stuff moved over that way. Just go ahead and basically buy Bitcoin and just keep it simple. Buy, hold on, long term, and especially between now and April the 15th, because when the Bitcoin halving hits, that's going to push the price of Bitcoin up anyway. When the ETF that hits, whether they decide to basically let all the companies get the ETF at one time or they let BlackRock hit, all that is going to be the factor. And then the third thing is the fact that the supply shock of how much Bitcoin is on these different exchanges is very low. It just that the exchanges never say exactly how low it is. And when that supply shock number hits, have your account set up so that you can enjoy the gains. And look, enjoy the gains, sit back, relax, enjoy the gains, and smile.
Good stuff. Guys, I'm going to drop the link for anybody who decide that they want to come up and have a one-on-one and good conversation with these fine gentlemen and learn, just like I'm doing right now. Currently, I am learning. I'm taking more notes than I've taken in a long time, especially when it comes to money. Fortunate for us, this technology, we always watch it on the replay in case y'all didn't get to see it live. That's cool. I'm not going to take offense to it. But when you do watch it on replay, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe so you can continue to get these opportunities to come back to the basement and hang out with me a little bit. I appreciate you guys. Even for those what we call the Wolf Pack. The Wolf Pack.
Yeah.
You guys for coming up and with some great questions and some great statements and some great advice. I greatly appreciate it. Brother Payne didn't wait long because he got tired of sending me all the damn $5 cash apps. He hit the link. Hot damn it. I know that's right, Brother Payne. Brother Payne, what's going on tonight, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Hello, gentlemen. Listen, I popped up because I need this as a cost-saving measure.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying, man?
I know why your cheap ass I know why your cheap ass did that. I know what it is. Brother Payne, I think it's your first time to the basement. Now I'm trying to figure out why is this your first time to my basement?
Actually, I've stopped in a couple of times, just didn't say anything. I've been to the basement, You
ain't been on the panel?
No, I haven't been on the panel, no.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to be, just look, observe.
Hey, you know what it is.
What's that?
He came over here because since they did ladies' night over on BMU, I didn't get to blame him for everything. So he came to, it's all your fault. Okay, sorry.
Okay, now the truth's coming out. Now the truth is coming out.
I was looking, yeah, man. BMU just threw that in there. I didn't know he was going to do the ladies' night. Anyway, listen, I appreciate this. Here's what jogged my jogged me now. We're talking about cryptos. I have my daughters and my niece.
Brother Payne, I gotta ask you. It's first time up here on the show, like I do everybody else. And Brother OMAC, I gotta ask you too, brother. It's your first time up on the show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Brother Payne, I'm gonna let you go last, Brother Payne, because you'll get long with your goddamn answers. I know how you do. Hey Ray, I almost forgot who I'm talking to. I know he get long with it with his answers. I gotta.
That's terrible. I got a bad back.
So I'm gonna let you go first. Brother OMAC, on my show, what I like to do for anybody who's a first time up here, man, I like to ask them, what is your guilty pleasure songs? What is them songs you listen to in your vehicle or at home in the comforts of your house, and you'll be rocking out, but you probably ain't kind of embarrassed if your family or friends knew you was probably listening to that song. With Brother Payne, I think he's more of a Frank Sinatra type guy. That's probably his guilty pleasure, but I'm not going to speculate. But OMAC, what is yours, my guy?
One of my favorite songs that I like right now that I basically use whenever I work out. It is actually let me see the name of it. Let me get to the very top of my list here. Is actually "Unforgettable" by French Montana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because okay.
So
just to kind of give you
Nat Cole, not the Nat Cole version, but
right.
It's like
like it's like a Afrocentric baseline to it, because number one, whenever like this, whenever I work out, I basically get up around 3:30 like in the morning, and I basically go work out. So like when I go work out, look, I'm a tall big guy, so I basically get on the Stairmaster, and so I mean, like, as I'm doing about 75 flights of stairs. My heart rate is up. It's about 135, about 140 beats per minute. So for me, I need something with that thump to it. So that's what I do. So I'll basically listen to something like that to basically get that thump in. And or some good techno music or trap house.
Ooh, trap house is dope.
That's that Atlanta coming out of there, man. See, that's Atlanta coming out of there. See that? You hear that, brother? That's that ATL coming out of there. You want to hear that trap music.
Hey, you got to get that bass, man, and get along with that heart rate, because, man, look, when you wake up first thing in the morning, look, I may be an Army vet, but, sometimes, man, them legs be some winging down slow to the floor. You're getting up. It's like, come on, get on up. Come on. Rally, boy, rally.
Look here, OMAC, don't let me find out you have 2 Live Crew. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
What's that? Pop that cat.
Yeah.
Don't let me find that out. That's on your playlist now, OMAC. Don't let me find that out.
No, I'm not that greedy, because I kind of think about it, because one, I got 2 daughters, so I tend to be mindful. I tend to be mindful.
So
I just want to move and just stay motivated.
OMAC ain't gonna be popping at Cootie no time soon here. I got you. I know what you mean.
I mean, like, look, now I will break down the Barry White for like my wife, though. There you go.
Oh, that's right. I know. You got to slow it down just a little bit, huh? Brother Payne, I'm scared to ask, but I'm ready to find out. What we got?
Oh, man, listen to you, man. Hey, listen, I'm just happy when I heard my brother, man, over here say Santana. I thought he said Saucy Santana for a second.
Oh, Lord. It's now going out. I don't know why, but I heard it went out.
Hey,
come on, what are we talking about, man?
Please. I might have misheard it, but we got it right, Listen, man, I play anything by Parliament Funkadelic, man. That's it, man. It's, anything. I'm still stuck back there in the goddamn 70s, man. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'll play Parliament because people don't understand. These guys were excellent musicians. They were excellent, right? So I'll sit here and listen to a record that everybody doesn't hear, whatever it is, the guitar, the bass, all that. I gotta say, sometimes I get like teary eyed, man, because it just takes me right back. Just takes me back. So so anything from the Parliament Funkadelic, man, all the stuff as they went through their progressions and went on to these different groups, Paulette, all that stuff, man. One of my wedding songs was a Paulette song. So at the wedding. So that's my thing, man. So I'm stuck there. What can I say? But other than that, that's it. So my guilty pleasures. And I could play Parliament all. I got a couple of shorts. I got Fantasy is Reality in the background, because they got a couple with the shorts. They have some licenses of some of the Parliament songs, and you could just use them. So I got them in the background. I don't know how to do the shorts that good yet, but I'm learning. Other than that, that's it, man. That's it.
I got you. But well, go ahead with I know you had a question. I didn't want to take you away from
No, this thing jogged my you see, I set my daughters up and my niece up for brokerage accounts and stuff. But now I'm thinking that I'm gonna keep doing that, but I'm gonna get them to give me a couple of grand and I'm gonna go get them to buy Bitcoin and just let it sit there. Just get some Bitcoin and have that in their portfolio so they have a cryptocurrency. And I'm gonna convince him to do that. I mean, one of my daughters who's living here with us, man, she's loaded. So I'm gonna say, give me a few $1,000s. We're gonna open up a crypto account for you, and I'm gonna just buy Bitcoin. I got IOTEX. Man, it's starting to move too. It's starting to move pretty good right now.
I got a moon bag on that as well.
But I would just get, based on this conversation, I would just get them to park money in Bitcoin, and just let it sit there while they do everything else. And if they have more money, just add more, because they're all in their 20s. So
and look, one thing I will say is this: I mentor exclusively to men, but whenever their wives or their girlfriends basically step into like the room and then they basically ask questions, I will address their questions. Now, there's been a few times where I've been hit with, well, how come you won't talk to the women, this, that, and the other? The main reason why I don't do that is because most of the time, whenever men start making money, men are more willing to get married. They're willing to get married and have children. Whenever women wind up basically making money, they're they then become less likely to get married because they feel that they got everything covered. But it does not hurt for you to basically talk with your daughters, and like in your nieces, basically work with them on basically putting something over to the side. And like I said, um, if you can, I'll basically say it this way: after April 15th of 2024, and after the Bitcoin ETF, the price that you see Bitcoin now at $43,000, you won't see that no more. The price will have exploded. And once it has exploded before the end of 2024, don't be surprised if you're seeing for one Bitcoin over $100,000. So literally at that point, most African Americans will never be able to have that type of liquid cash to buy one Bitcoin. So if you can buy as much of it as you can, and however much they can, and quote unquote, this isn't going to eat your mortgage money, it isn't going to eat your rent money, it isn't going to eat your food money. You buy it, put it to the side. And because women are more risk adverse than men, if you have if you have a conversation with them and they say, look, convert some stocks, basically convert it, sell it, and then buy some Bitcoin, I can guarantee you it will grow faster than any one of their stocks. I'm going to give you one quick example. My nephew, I talked to him and his wife while we were at our family reunion this year in July. I basically talked to him about Bitcoin. He said, "You know what, Unc? I'm gonna go ahead and basically go buy it." His wife wasn't exactly feeling it. He went ahead and he bought a whole Bitcoin. So he bought a whole Bitcoin. He then contacted me a few weeks later, said then said, "Hey, Unc, I bought a whole, I bought a whole Bitcoin." His wife, of course, was like, "Hey, hey, you did that, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah." Just recently, me and him were basically talking. He said, "Unc, me and my wife, when we basically sat down and talked, he bought Bitcoin at about 28,000
Mm-hmm.
and is now at 43.
Right.
So it went up $15,000. Now, mind you, he basically put his one coin and how much it gained from the beginning of the year to now versus her complete 401k and growth. And she had been putting money in there for almost 5 years. Between that growth period, he was still ahead almost $3,000. If you looked at what she contributed this year to now, he's up $12,000 ahead with his one purchase. So I will say this, that one, if you look at Bitcoin from beginning to now, Bitcoin does nothing but up and to the right.
Yeah, how much?
So you can basically look at that.
Well, let me. Yeah, you said something on the beginning. One of the things I don't disagree with how women treat money, but this is what I told my daughters. And I told them, so listen, if you don't get married for whatever reason, you're going to need a shitload of money to survive.
True.
So either way, I don't think the money will stop them from getting married. But if they don't, which is a lot of women these days, they're going to need a whole shitload of money to survive.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I encourage them to do other things. I let their mother talk to them about getting married and all that shit. And my oldest is looking at a guy here and there, but they're going to need a lot of money, man.
Yeah. And also the fact that women basically carry 80% of all consumer debt. That's the other problem too, is that like the other part here is this. If you do work with them and they purchase the Bitcoin, okay, this is going to sound a bit cruel. Let them know that it's been purchased and that later on in the year, you'll check on it. Because some people, when they see the numbers rise very fast, all of a sudden, the mindset is, I have extra money. I can go spend it.
I hear the warning stuff you're telling me.
Yeah.
So just my girls, they listen to me, man, big time.
Okay.
I'm dad, man. They listen to me. So even though they're still women.
But it isn't too many times when they can see growth of thousands of dollars within weeks. Yeah. Some people have never seen that type of growth.
Maybe I'm a unicorn, brother. I hear you, though. I mean, this is good for the audience. This is good for the audience.
I mean, everybody. That's the thing, though. Everybody thinks they know how people are until you actually see them numbers, man. Because like last bull run, when we were like the stuff that I was doing in DeFi, like when I tell them how I got the partnership in my business, I was literally going in every time we talked about layoffs. I volunteered.
Right.
Okay. Every single time. They were like, hey, layoffs, we got like some government money coming in. Like we might have to lay some people off. I was like, I'll go. And then they got to the point to where they were asking me like, why are you keep volunteering? And I was like, everybody else, if somebody needs to work, like I make more than the rest of them and I don't need to be here. And they were like, what do you mean you don't need to be here? I was like, I'm making 3 times my check right now, every month, sitting in my house. Like you ain't going to be able to compensate me with what I'm making, and make it make sense. So I was like, I can come back, but like, if somebody can afford to sit at home, I can definitely afford to sit at home right now.
No, I hear you. Well, so look, going back to the Bitcoin idea, I'm gonna do that, and whatever the ramifications are, I'm gonna try to make sure we handle it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
they
mean,
need to be in there.
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like
No.
it sounds unreal, and then it becomes real. And when it becomes real, then because like honestly, I think it'd be good for them though, because if you let them, you'll get to see how they'll function if they have
Yeah.
money. Like if they hit a lick, you'll get to see who that person is during a Bitcoin bull run, because
Yeah.
licks will be hit.
Yeah. Hey,
Let me tell you, hell with the girls, man. I'm pissed because I remember during the pandemic or wherever the shit was down, Bitcoin was like 18 grand. Just recently, what was that? Like a year ago or some shit like that?
yeah. It was basically just less than a year ago. It was at 16. It might
Yeah,
have been
man.
15.
So heck with them. I'm mad that I didn't have any of it, man.
Hey,
It's true.
Hey, look, the one thing I will say is this, look, definitely have to talk. There's nothing wrong with basically having to talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, and I have yet to be proven wrong when it, like when it basically comes down to this. People mindsets shift
Yeah, I agree.
like crazy when all of a sudden you're seeing 25% pump, 50% pump. Oh, it just doubled. Oh, it just tripled. Because just like what Ray said, when when Terra and when Optimus, you remember like Optimus? When they like when they were running, I'll be honest, I kind of felt some way. I kind of felt some way
Mm-hmm.
because number one, because the ability to wake up in the morning richer than when you went to sleep is a very intoxicating piece. Very intoxicating. And you do feel a certain way because when you're doing certain staking programs, this, that, and other, and you're basically earning and then it's growing like that, it becomes intoxicating in a way that a lot of people do not get. So, like, so like the one thing I say is definitely you will find out the real them, especially if they see that has gone up that much. Now I have actually known some men who have done it for their children, and they let their children know after the fact, like after the fact, and then a few of the kids got mad because they're like, well, I needed money way back then. It was like, no, you wanted to spend money, you didn't need it. Now, when you truly need it, you got it.
Mhm. Well,
So,
let me ask you a question, brother. Listen, I hear about the women and all that shit.
mhm.
What about the pussy men who who women tell them what to do? I mean, your nephew almost let his wife convince him not to buy Bitcoin. So there's a lot of men out there who take their cues from their women. So
well,
how do you deal with that while you're mentoring them?
look, I basically break it down this way. I said, look, are you the head of the house? That's either a yes or no. Anytime that I get a man and I basically ask him, are you the head of the house? And he blinks, and then here comes like that pregnant pause. At that point, I say, then you're not head of the house. Then you need to go ahead and basically go bow down. Now, some men have gotten mad at me. Some has gotten mad at me. I said, look, if you're going to be the man of the house, then you understand all successes, you get credit.
Mhm.
All failures, you get credit.
Mm-hmm.
So come hell or high water, it's always going to be on you.
On you. Yep.
And so like I basically, and look, and yeah, at times there's been a few go like, I just feel like you just antagonizing me. I said, no, I'm just saying get your manhood and basically put it back in place. That's the only thing I'm saying. You know, you if you're gonna be head of the house, like I said, it's like, you know, right there up under my name, it says Proverbs 13:22. That is a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. It does not say the wife leaves an inheritance to his children's children. It says the man leaves an inheritance. So even like with me and my wife, we have our power of attorneys, we have our DNRs, we have all of these other things basically structured. We even have multiple life insurance policies basically set up. My wife stays at home. My wife does not have to work. But guess what? If I died, we have one policy to basically take care of like the emergency stuff. We have another policy set up to where one, it covers the long term part, and then like the rest of the stuff is just investments. But that, that's under my leadership. And as much as I love my wife, and we've been married for 26 years, we just celebrated our 27th on the 14th. The simple fact of the matter here is this: as a man, if you are not leading, then that means you are following. And if you are following, then that means you're going to be whimsical to the terms of how your woman is feeling. And that is a problem. It doesn't mean that she doesn't love you. It's a whimsical thing of how a woman's emotions will basically flow. You need to be able to lead in such a way. So yes, it can get contentious, but that's what you have to do as a man. Period.
I'm with you. I am with you.
Now, you won't get no argument out of me. I like that. That's look. I take on the motto of men should be teaching men, educating men, and showing men how to be men. That's where we should be our teachers from. Women should learn from elder women. Men should learn from elder women should be teaching younger women. Elder men should be teaching younger men. That's how it should go. That's how it's been. That's how it should always go. Now, nobody's saying that these young cats can't teach your elder man. Oh, no, hell no. That's not true at all. Because I learned something from my son. When he was 16, he taught me something. You know what I'm saying? So that's not saying that can't happen. But for the most part, in most situations, us elder men need to be educating these young bloods, helping these young bloods, making sure they're going to get better and got a better chance because they can learn from our mistakes, our downfalls, our success.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it should come from. So shout out to you, OMAC, for doing that for your nephew.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You know, so I want to hear this, and I love hearing this. I remember I had a show the other day. I'm about to be vulnerable right now, right? Had a show the other day, and in that show, I forgot what the show was even about. But the young blood came up there and shared with me, man, and I got kind of choked up. You know what I'm saying? Because he shared with me. He's 19, and he's been watching me. Call me OG, and you get a certain age, you got to accept that. That's what I am now. You know, I once I hit that 35 mark, I think I started hitting the OG title. I embraced it. I said, right on. I'm lucky to have enough birthdays so I can hit that title. But he shared with me how, some of the things I was saying was influencing him in a positive and uplifting way. Man, that touched me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's basically why I built this channel, to help the guys ages from 16 to 25, because they're in that age range where there's nobody's really in their lives and teaching them and educating them, because they're about to hit manhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think you, age 25, I think you're a grown man now. Not 21, not 18, 25. You're a grown man now. And so you got to move differently, talk differently, act different, and carry yourself in a different manner. And the reason why I picked that age is because, I thought back, if I wasn't going to get the opportunity to get a scholarship to go to college to play ball, then I was going to go to Job Corps. And Job Corps is the ages between 16 and 25. And that's the basis I use this show off of, 16 to 25. This is like a Job Corps for these young men, to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to educate you. I'm going to help you. And I'm going to try to send you about your way, especially for those young men who don't have a father or a father figure in their life. That's the reason why I do a show. But when I seen that young man say what he said, man, that touched me. I mean, I had to turn my camera off, right?
Oh my goodness!
I'm serious. I was kind of choked up because when he was saying in the chat, I felt what he was saying. I felt what he was doing because I was him.
Mm-hmm.
I was that young man who was looking for guidance. I just got blessed that I got guidance at a younger age, thanks to my great-grandfather and my uncle. My father wasn't always in my life. It was hit and miss with him, right? We didn't always have a cordial relationship like we do now. Now I'm blessed to have a cordial relationship with him. It wasn't like it before. It was contentious. It was, I don't give a damn if he called me or not. I hear from him. That's how the relationship was at one time. but now it's not like it no more. Now, it took some time for me to get to that point mentally. You know what I'm saying? It took some therapy for me to get to that point mentally. Because I have to say I can't be selfish because he's missing out on my son and his granddaughter and his great granddaughter. Because I was being selfish. Because I didn't want to have to do nothing to do with him. Because what happened between me and him and my brother. Yeah, I had to let that shit go. I had to move past that. So I did. And we had a talk. Now we're in a good place. But I can recognize that young man. I don't know if he had a father figure or not. He didn't say that in the chat. But for him to reach out and say, hey, man, I appreciate you and what you're doing, it touched me, Ray. I know you laughing at me, and that's okay. I'm being vulnerable, and I can accept it. I can accept it right there. But it was good. It was good to see. I needed that. It uplifted my spirits. It allowed me to let me know what I'm doing is not going. It's not falling in vain. And somebody's actually listened to me. I don't know why they won't listen to my crazy ass.
They hear you, brother. They hear you. Hey, listen, OMAC, you know what? What you said, listen, I heard you. I might have sounded like I pushed back, but I heard what you said about the ladies. The thing about your proverbs about giving an inheritance to your grandchildren, that's exactly what my grandfather did for me. And that's what I picked up on. I said, listen, he had all kinds of kids. They had kids. He had enough money when he retired. And when he passed away at like 90, right? We had enough for it. It wasn't a lot of money. Even if it was a dime, it was enough to reach down past his generation to the next. And I never forgot that. I said, man, I can't do but at least that, for my kids and grandchildren, if I get some, but that's where it's at. So I take that to heart. I don't have no sons, so I can't do the boy thing, but
well, you gotta look at it this way. I have my 2 sons, but I have about 6 spiritual sons, and a lot of them didn't have fathers. I mean, like in their lives. One, one particularly who basically grew up with my son, like he basically grew up like with my eldest son. He almost lost his complete his parental rights to to his son, because number one, he thought he had the situation handled between him and his and the babies, and his ex fiance. And like you're right, it can be, it can be tough. And look, I definitely understand that, because one, when he finally did listen to both me and my wife, now I made him mad at me at one point because I told him, you being stupid, if you don't file paperwork for custody of your son, you're going to mess around, you're going to lose your son. He finally went and he basically filed the paperwork. Gentlemen, I can tell you, less than 7 weeks later, because she was doing some shady stuff, she basically came back from California, and quiet as kept, she went down to court here in Alabama to basically file for full custody. If he would have waited a few more days, he would have lost full custody, because she was filing for full custody of his son. And when they saw that he had filed first, and pretty much at that point, her attorney was like, "Look, you better accept whatever whatever he's saying. You better accept this, because it's obvious he's ahead. He's ahead of the game for you." So it made me smile, and it basically choked me up to basically make sure he didn't lose. And like one day he didn't lose custody of his son because of her being sneaky. So I can understand about basically mentoring, you know, um, these young men, because I mean, look, there's a few of them. I've known them since they were 6 years old, and they've now graduated, like from college. They've now got married, and I'll basically, and I'll basically call them up and they go, "Hey, Dad, I mean, like, these are not my biological sons, but I love them boys deeply." I can call them and sit there and say, "Hey, I need for you to come here immediately." They live, look, they live in Mobile. he'll get in that car ASAP, and he will be here. Because number one, you got to basically, if we are not pouring into these young men, if we are not pouring into them, then one, the street and society tells them something completely different. Just like even like with my youngest son, when my youngest son wrestled, every time he got off that mat, the first person that was there was me. My son would come off the mat, he'll hug me, son, you did great. Win or loss. And and the other fathers were like, your son still hugs you? I'm like, heck yeah. And they're like, really? I said, yeah, I hug and kiss on all my children. I want them all to know that I love them. I don't please, please, that whole hey, you don't do this. No. Come here. Hug, kiss, I love you. I basically let them know that. I'm not letting no barriers stop them from knowing that I love them.
God.
That's facts. Now look, I'm gonna got one more story before I have my last question that I have. And like I said, guys, I did drop the link again for anybody who want to come up and come up and have the conversation about this great topic that we're talking about, and these great gentlemen that are definitely volunteering their time and sharing with us. And I appreciate you guys for even doing it. You didn't have to, but I appreciate you guys. Definitely, I promise you I do. When OMAC shared with you about sharing with your sons or your daughters, you love them. That's a must. That is a must. I do that with my daughter, even she's 28 now. Damn, I'm getting old. She's 28 now, and I kiss her on top of her forehead, letting her all up, and she can't stand it. She can't stand it when I do it, and I don't care. I do it regardless. You can be mad at me for the moment. You get over it. You'll find your way to my house, shop in my house like it's a goddamn department store. And run through my damn refrigerator. Yeah. What you said. That's why I need this crypto, because I need to get my money right so you should go shopping again, I'm sure. But with my son, I there was a time with him, he's funny. When I say I love him, what'd you say? And I asked about 4 or 5 times, so I actually hear him say it, and he didn't like it. But it was his junior and senior year in high school. When I tell him I love him, I would actually hear the word from him the first time. I ain't got to ask a couple times. I love you, Daddy. And then you're like, okay, God damn, but why did it take so damn long for you to get to this point? But regardless of how long it takes, as long as you hear it, it really doesn't matter. You learn to appreciate, and I had to have that talk with him. I said, dude, you got to learn to appreciate the little things. I said, right now, you turned 18. I said, legally, I'm not obligated to give you a dime. I'm not obligated to give you nothing. I did everything for you legally that I could. Now everything I do it's a gift. It's a blessing. I'm blessing you when I bring you food 3 times to 4 times a week. When I hit your Cash App and you ask me, Daddy, I need some money. He just hit me yesterday. Me and my teammates gonna go watch the basketball game at this restaurant. I don't know what it's called. Crackers or something, whatever. Checkers, I think is what it's called.
Checkers, yeah.
I need some money. All right, man. I Cash App him some money. You know what I'm saying? Before I wouldn't get a thank you. I say, hey, you welcome. I got to force it on you. You welcome. No, I barely got the money cross the Cash App. Thank you, Daddy. I appreciate that. But I had to talk about it. I said, hey, man, the little things we do, you should have some type of level of appreciation. If I'm just giving you $5, that's more than what you had.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than what you had, brother. So just be appreciative when I come over. And I say, man, don't look. When I bring you food in these dishes, don't send me no damn dirty dishes. What we doing here? I done got you a good hot meal. You warm up in the microwave or your air fryer, and you gonna send me with dirty dishes? I said, take these dirty dishes. There ain't no food in it. Yeah, there's food in there. Yeah, it is. Wash that shit. I'll see you the next time I bring you food, and make sure all my shit's clean. Don't send me with no goddamn dirty dishes. I go any further. I smell them just in case his lazy ass try to just rinse them out. Hey man, no, hell no. Go wash this shit. I'll sit in my truck and wait for him to
He
wash.
said, "I'm not playing with you, bro."
Hell no. He lazy, like he'll do that to me. Man, please believe me, he'll do it to me. Man, look, I got one more story. Damn, I should be telling all this boy bit, but hell with it. I love it. This dude used to dope my damn dishes away because he didn't want to wash them.
What?
I look at my trash. I got silverware. I got plates. I said, what the hell is all my forks and spoons going at? His lazy ass throwing shit away. I said, you lazy motherfucker. Get this shit out of my goddamn trash.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that happened one time with my wife, and that would have been a nuclear bomb. I would be rebuilding the other side of the house.
I was so pissed.
They for real throwing silverware and dishes away instead of
yeah, look, my daughters did it. The daughters did it.
I would have died. I would have not made it to adulthood if I had ever done something that egregious.
Hey, look.
You know, your daughter, you can't hit no teenage girl. Like,
hey, look.
Get that out of my trash and go wash it. Oh, Dennis, I don't give a damn what you want. You should have threw it in there.
Right,
please,
right.
Please. I have tripped on my daughters and my kids when they sit and they go, now imagine now they got a sink full of dishes. They go talk about, I got all them dishes. I said, are you kidding me? You're going to scrape it off and you're going to put it in the dishwasher. What are you talking about? You got a bunch of dishes. I mean, like when I was growing up, there wasn't no dishwashers. It was wax on, wax off. There was no dishwasher. You got a new dishwasher sitting there talking about, I got all them dishes. You ain't washing all them dishes. Stop it. Just stop it.
Oh my God, I got a whole dishwasher and he still had to wash them damn dishes. No, we're not using it. We got a dishwasher. I said, I know. His name is Lil Hink. Get him to wash that dishes.
Hey, sometimes you gotta be that way. Sometimes you gotta be that way.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna pop off, but listen, man, this crypto discussion is really good, man. I appreciate it. You know,
Brother Payne for coming up, man, and I know you saved
yourself
$5 for doing that.
Nice to see you, Payne.
Yeah. I said you saved yourself $5 for doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Wait a minute, it's getting expensive, man. Let me just pop up, man. Thanks for dropping the link, man. We'll talk. I'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah.
You know,
later, Payne.
Later, brother.
My last question for you guys, man. I don't want to keep y'all too late because it's getting late, and OMAC, you're for a certain age like myself. You sound like you got to go to the gym in the morning. And I gotta go work early in the morning. I don't want to keep. Ray gonna be up for the rest of the night. No,
I'm not. I'm trying. Look, I've been trying to. I manage my sleep. I got an Oura ring. I track my sleep. I know when I need to go to bed. I know.
Hey, I bet you Ray got one of them sleep count beds too, don't you, Ray?
No, I wish. Well, now, not at this place. The next place, maybe.
Ah.
I know that's right. Well, shit, my last question is, why should I trust Bitcoin? So if both of y'all could give y'all a scenario. Go ahead, Ray. I'm going to let you know.
Yeah. I mean, my question is, and I hate to sound like Trump, but why not? We already trust dollars, and we know they're cheating. Like, I'm like, if you're so for me, the selling point for me was the no middlemen and the self-sovereignty. And that for me was enough to be like, oh, okay, well, like it was enough for me to start mining. So like that was enough for me to spend $800 to build a mining computer back in 2013. And I was like, I'll mess around with it. And then as we progressed and as I educated myself more, it became a no-brainer because I was like, this isn't necessary. Like my thesis in 2013 was this isn't going away. And once I came to the conclusion of, well, this isn't going away. And then I realized I was like, the system that I'm in isn't great. This isn't going away. And as you start seeing countries start adopting it, as you see the U.S. government using it to subsidize their debts because of the Bitcoin, all the Bitcoin that they've confiscated. By the way, the United States government is the second largest holder of Bitcoin on the planet. Actually, the first. I think they hold the most, as far as like one entity holding something. But as soon as I saw that governments were getting involved, as soon as I started, you're seeing these lines come together where countries are utilizing it. Governments are using it, states are getting involved with it, businesses are starting to buy it. It was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, why would I trust it? I'm like, if that's where all the large capital that it wasn't made for is fleeing to because they are also a part of this system that collapses, there was no reason for me, who I don't necessarily think I'm as smart as an entire country's government. I don't think I'm as smart as the CEO of MicroStrategy. I don't think I'm as smart as Elon Musk and Tesla, who also holds Bitcoin. I don't think I'm as smart as any of these people, but if they're going, hey, our money's not being treated well here right now, we're moving over to this, and you see them actively doing it, I'm like, oh, this isn't a hard sell for me. Like, I want to be where they're at. Like, if we're in a boat that's sinking, I want to be in the boat where the people that are going to survive are going to be. So for me, it wasn't that hard of a decision. And once I made the decision, I just went all in with it.
Oh, Matt?
For me, I would say this. The reason why you should trust Bitcoin is this. Bitcoin right now is the greatest wealth transformation that we've ever seen in history, period.
Mm-hmm.
This changes the landscape. Here's a quick example. Berkshire Hathaway, which is a Warren Buffett company, took them 40 years to make a company over $600 billion. Bitcoin on December the 4th surpassed Berkshire Hathaway. Not only did they surpass them that day, it surpassed them by almost $160 billion. That is how much the growth of Bitcoin is. And if something that started back in 2009 can grow faster, more powerful than a company that was started 40 years ago, imagine what it's going to do in the next 6 years. You've already heard that Kathy Woods believed that by 2030, Bitcoin is going to be worth $1.3 million per coin. Financial sovereignty is the greatest freedom you can ever have. The ability to go anywhere and everywhere without any city, state, federal agency, and or administration stopping you. That type of freedom is the same type of freedom that you see, quote unquote, with the ultra rich. They go where they want to. And please understand, in the next few years to come, owning one Bitcoin, you will be treated preferential on any loans, preferential for credits, preferential for business, for business assets. One Bitcoin will be literally the same thing as it used to be in England to be a duke or and or earl and or a bishop. It will be literally that type of titleization and that type of recognition of quote unquote royalty, because at that point, once these other halvings are done, very little Bitcoin will be out there for anyone to purchase. There's a max limit of 21 million Bitcoin. On average, in the world, there's about 42 or so to 43 million millionaires. In other words, there's literally 2 times more millionaires than there is Bitcoin. That means there's not enough Bitcoin to go around even for millionaires. And if you look at the trajectory from 2009 until now, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, it starts here and goes up and to the right. No other stock, bond, treasury, options, and or derivatives or ETF can match the performance of Bitcoin. So if you won't trust the best performing asset in history, then what do you trust? Are you going to say gold and silver? Gold's price hasn't really moved in the last 5 or 7 years. But guess what? Bitcoin has been more valuable than gold since the last 7 years. The last 7 years. So that's what it tells you. So why you should trust it? Bitcoin provides you independence and true freedom. Most of us have never seen or heard or had this type of freedom. Financial freedom is absolutely priceless, not only to you, but to your family and to your children's children. This type of freedom is priceless. In other words, it is truly worth dying for. That's why you should trust Bitcoin.
Good shit, man. Good shit. Guys, before we go, I definitely want you to, if anyone say, hey, man, I would like to talk to these guys one-on-one. I would like to schedule a consultation with Brother Ray, Brother OMAC. How can they get in contact with you guys? I did drop, well, Ray, I dropped your channel and your IG, and I dropped your IG, OMAC. So I didn't know if that's
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the best way to basically get in contact with me.
So yeah, I was about to say IG's good. Obviously, I've got my email, recklessraydinero@gmail.com. But yeah, you can tap in with me at IG. I'm usually filtering through there throughout the day, so that's probably the quickest way to get a hold of anyone, because who checks email, right?
Yeah.
Well, moderators, if you can drop their both their IGs in the chat for me, so these guys can definitely get some calls, some contacts, some conversations going to help these people out, man. And and I'm sure they will do what they can to oblige you with I'm sure a friendly fee or a charitable donation of their choice amount, I'm sure. But I appreciate these guys even taking the time out today to do this with me, man. Coming to the basement, man, you guys bless me with a lot of good things to have a conversation about later. I don't know if you've seen in the chat, my lady said we need to be beginning investors, and that's what we're going to do. We are definitely going to be having a conversation about getting started on this journey, because I'm all about diversifying my money and more ways to make me money. I'm all for it, and that's why I definitely had to make sure I do this show and definitely had the conversation. I think I got two great guys up here to bless me with these with this information that was able to not only bless my channel, bless other people. Ray, I'm sure the Wolfpack already know, but you just pour more game into your peoples and pour whatever game that they didn't know about. They got it today. So guys, if you have any other final thoughts you may want to share, Brother Ray and Brother OMAC, floor is yours. Go ahead.
I'll hit it first. One of the things to remember is the last time we had an opportunity like this was when AOL came out. And a lot of people watched that opportunity go by. A lot of people sat on the sidelines, and then we hear people talk about it all the time now. Like, I was a child. I was always on Netscape. I was always on AOL. No one in my family invested. And it becomes a conversation of, oh yeah, I remember that. We could have done that. Could have done. The question that I pose to everybody who will ever see this and who is listening to this, especially if you catch this at an early point during this bull cycle, at what point do you take accountability for your situation? At what point do you take those reins into your hands? Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Stop worrying about how the white man is oppressing you. Stop worrying about how you're in the victim Olympics and you're just running on this hedonic treadmill. How long are you gonna continue to navigate your existence, your one life that you get to live in this body that you're currently in right now? How long are you going to be affected by everything else with no apparent influence on your own existence? Like how long does that happen? How many opportunities throughout your lifetime? Because most people don't even get to see two. Most people don't live to see two of what we're seeing now. And those of us, if you're my age, you saw the internet boom. You saw the internet come into existence. You saw people look and not act, use and not invest, consume and not own. And you got to see the results because most of y'all are still struggling now. And as a result, generationally, you're probably also struggling too. It's happening again. And you got a choice to make. Are you going to watch this go by and continue to complain and continue to be affected? Or are you going to take some ownership and actually have a say-so in the trajectory of your life from a financial perspective? This will give you, and I'll tell you from my personal experience, this has given me the leverage to change the course of where I should be able to go personally. And that's not to say, and I also want to touch on the fact that I know that like a lot of the gurus out there say that the people in Bitcoin have to coerce people to get into it. We're not having to coerce people to get into this. I just don't want you to have to deal with me talking shit to you without me giving you all the game, because I like to win and I like to compete. And I'm not going to shoot you in the leg and then challenge you to a foot race. So when I tell you that I have no empathy for anyone who, as I'm talking my good shit throughout this year, and y'all start talking about, oh, Ray's lucky. Oh, you've been doing it for a decade. Be like, yeah, you guys called me an idiot for the better part of that decade. And now that the results are here, don't you dare call me lucky. You just lost to my dumbass. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well said. Well said. I will say this as a closing statement. The best advice beyond Bitcoin is to have Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. I'm a complete unapologetic Christian. I'm not a gummy bear Christian. I believe in it and I'm with that. With that being said, if you are serious, and I speak particularly more so to men, if you are serious about changing your legacy from being just Big Pa, Grandpa, to the one who basically put the family back on track the way it needed to be, as a culture, if we do not have that financial wealth first of family, because it got to be with mom and dad first. Then it has to have the financial wealth, because then when you have the financial wealth, that means you got the political power behind there. If we don't have those things, other people will dictate what you will say and do from now on. At what point will you take responsibility of changing the generations to come by one having a strong foundation to basically help them basically make that change, and that you can pass this on to your children and to your children's children, and to have the freedom and the structure behind it to ensure that it's not wasted in years to come. Do the right things. If if you are any of the men that's out there, if you're married, go ahead and get your wills together. Your wills, your power of like attorney. Get your insurances together. Get your financials together. Get your bitcoins together. Get your cold wallet. Get your hot wallets together. Get basically go ahead and do the steps now in order to help your family become successful in the future. You'll be able to take some and basically enjoy a little bit of it, but make it so that one, this is really for your children. I'm okay with getting a little bit of this because I know in the long term, the real big portion in years to come, when this hits higher and higher, I'll be able to sit back as granddad or great great granddad and basically watch my children and my family exceed. Where when you hear my family's name, you're gonna know, oh, you know what? That granddad or that great granddad, man, he was invested in this and he was investing in. Oh man, he got into Bitcoin, he got into this. Because then you're leaving a legacy. You can never leave a legacy with just failures. When you have failures, you just get talked about. Legacies are for successes, not for failures. And I want all of you to succeed. And that's my closing statement.
Nice.
Brother OMAC, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it, Hank.
No doubt, no doubt. Man, look, I just want to say this. I appreciate these fellas coming through. I had a conversation with Ray about it when we came out before. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. We was talking about credit and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And he put a bug in my ear and put a little fire up under me. I said, yeah, I need to go and do this. I need to go and have the conversation. Not only have the conversation for myself, but for everybody else who's looking to benefit. And the only thing it's going to do is cost some time. That's it. Time. You got a lot of free game today. These brothers offer their time and their service for free out of the goodness of their heart, just because they want to see the people be better off and benefit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did this for. I didn't compensate these guys. I mean, they deserve it. I promise you, they deserve it. But I definitely appreciate what they've done tonight by sharing this information. I've benefited. I learned a lot. I'm going to go back on the replay and watch it again. And whatever I miss, I'm going to definitely make sure I write down and do the research.
Mhm.
My lady also benefits. She's in the chat. She benefited. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely going to make our move and do what we need to do in order to make these type of investments and make these type of moves. Because it's very beneficial, like Brother OMAC said, for our kids and our grandkids. I got both of those. And I want to do what I can to help them out. That's why I work hard. That's why I sacrifice. That's why I do what I do, for not only for myself, but for them. More so for them. I'm pretty much good. But I'm doing it more so for them because they're going to benefit the most. Because I'm getting something started that hopefully they can continue.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, again, Brother Ray, Brother OMAC, thank you guys for coming up, man. I appreciate you guys. Wolfpack, I appreciate you guys for coming through. If y'all hadn't had the opportunity, make sure y'all hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't do that. I know Brother OMAC's going to have his channel get started here soon. Y'all make sure y'all follow that brother when he gets his thing started. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to Brother Ray, because I know he had already got his thing started. And I don't know why I just now subscribed to it. Shame on me. Shame on me.
Dude, I'm terrible at promoting myself. That's why. Like, I don't even say nice things about me, bro.
Look, Ray, I made sure I went over and did it. I said, shame on me. What the hell? I'm asking this brother to come over here, have a conversation, and I ain't subscribed. Yeah, I'll be ashamed of my guy. So, he ain't shit.
No.
He ain't shit. So I'll make sure I subscribe to the brother. It's well worth it, because I see some other stuff on his channel that I'm definitely going to look into and look and do some research on myself, because I was liking what I was seeing. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely going to make sure I tap in with the brother. If the brother ever needs me, he hit me on IG. Hey, man, won't you come over? We're going to have a conversation. Cool, no problem. Let me know. I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Let's talk. Let's have fun while we're doing. Let's make money though at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's definitely all good, man. Again, to my basement dwellers, thank you for coming, brothers, sisters. I promise you, man. Thank you, Brother Payne, for coming through. Natasha for coming through. The actual King, my man Tez. Thank you guys for the great super chats and the donations that you guys gave me. Man, thanks for the guys who weren't able to donate but still came through with some great questions. Shout out to you guys. You know, Red Lips, Dorian. Shout out to you, Kevin. Who else I'm saying I may be missing? Don't let me miss. Travel One, shout out to you. Even though you gave me a little hell, shout out to you for coming through. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, my man AB coming through, my man brother T coming through. You know, rest of the Wolfpack, Mr. He said, Mrs. He said, y'all guys are a great couple. Thank you for coming through. Telling Stewards, thank you for coming through. You know, hey, if there's anybody I missed, please charge it to my mind and on my heart. Nanya, for coming through. Everybody, thank you for coming through, hanging out with me in the basement tonight. And hopefully you guys was able to benefit from this conversation. And if y'all wasn't, hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you because the information these guys share, man, definitely makes me want to, go online and get a count today. And like I said, if you didn't get the opportunity to see it live, definitely watch the replay. Pick up the little jewels that you might have missed on the show and run with it. So with that being said, guys, thanks for coming. And look forward to seeing y'all next week. Now, I'm not going to do show Monday because Monday is Christmas. I want y'all to enjoy your family and your loved ones on this Christmas holiday. Y'all be blessed. Yep. But instead of doing the sports show on Monday, I will have it on Tuesday, and I will be doing a Wednesday show as well. So we're going to definitely have a talk. Hopefully Santa Claus brings you all the gifts that you're looking for and all that good stuff. But if he doesn't, hey, prepare for next year because y'all going to maybe have somebody gift y'all a Bitcoin. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll get that up on my tree. I don't know if Santa's going to bring it. We'll see. But with that being said, definitely looking forward to seeing y'all guys next week, and we will rock out again. Do this thing all over. But until next time, later. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, brothers.
Good night.
All right.